Next on Saratoga Live, this 3-year-old colt's 2 wins have come by a combined 27 3/4 lengths. If he shows similar ability in his turf debut, the rest of the field could be in for a world of trouble. Majestic Dunhill. It's already proven on turf. A 3-time winner on the surface. He enters the quick call off a stakes victory in New Jersey at Monmouth. Like father, like son, Triple Crown champion American Pharoah's first crop hit the sales ring, and Pharoah's top price colt is headed to a familiar barn. Today's feature, the quick call, named after a runner dubbed the horse for course here at Saratoga. We'll tell you all about his second career in retirement coming up later on in the show. All that and much more ahead on this Wednesday edition of Saratoga Live. It is presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Great to have you with us as we start off a new week of racing here at Saratoga Springs, the premier race meet in the entire country. As you can see from right there, the rain started to come down just about 20 minutes or so ago. And we'll keep you updated on the course conditions and how quickly this may pass. Greg Wolf alongside former New York Met, LA Dodger Paula Duke, and track announcer at Monmouth Park, Frank Miramati, and we're downstairs today. We're living the good life here right next to the paddock. Our feature race, 5.5 furlongs on the turf in the quick call. And World of Trouble expected to make his turf debut coming up. He's been very good on the main track.
Well, he has been. And his stablemate, Fig Jelly, who just got into his stable from the Wayne Rice barn, came over here at Saratoga and won. Now, World of Trouble is going to get on the turf for the first time today. We have gotten some rain. How is he going to take to a yielding turf course? But how do you throw out Jason Service, Frank, right now?
You don't. He is absolutely lethal in turf sprints. And the thing to look at with this horse is the last time he ran was in the Woody Stevens. Larry Comas doesn't often use words like blazing and breakneck for the type of fractions that are being unleashed. That's what he did before weakening very late in that race. If he takes to the turf, they might be in big trouble trying to catch him.
Horse who beat him in that race, 3-time stakes winner, and a horse he was just a neck behind. One of the big performances we've seen in the sprint anytime during this meet that was promised is fulfilled, who was running third in that race that won the Amsterdam.
Yeah, you look at the rest of the company. Flame Away, very, very good 3-year-old. He has not shown like that he's done a slouch either. He ran well in his next start, and you're right, promises fulfilled was dynamite here.
That is our feature race, the quick call, 5.5 furlongs on the turf. Coming up, want to remind everyone, get signed up, started, play along with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anytime, anywhere. And if you're a new member, $200 sign-up bonus. Use the promo code Saratoga Live. Again, go to nairabets.com to get signed up and started. With more on our feature race coming up this afternoon, let's check in with Maggie Wolfendale.
Is coming down here at the spa, so always have to be ready to call an audible when it comes to the turf races. But this race, the quick call, our feature, actually, if it does come off, it really would be paying homage to its namesake and quick call, who certainly had an affinity for a wet track. Now, a horse that might be able to handle both no matter what surface we're on is the Maryland bred, a co-Maryland bred with myself, is Dirty in here as he comes off a convincing win down at Laurel Park, albeit against state breds, but with a 91 Bayer speed figure, this guy trounced his competition in that turf sprint, winning by 5, and on the turf, that's kind of like winning by 10, if you will, on the main track. But this horse, if this race would to come off, he deserves a shot too, especially with the moisture in the track, as he ran okay first time out on a muddy sealed track, and obviously he's come along and gotten better since that debut race. So we'll see how Dirty fares in today's quick call for trainer Jeremiah Englehart. But from one Maryland bred to another, we'll check in with Gabby Gaudette, who is standing by at the Fasig-Tipton Sales Pavilion.
Thanks very much, Maggie. We're here at the Humphrey S. Finney Sales Pavilion, and it looks a lot different than it did last night. Of course, buyers, sellers, and fans were packed house in here, all to partake in the excitement of the Fasig-Tipton selected yearling sale. Of course, there was a lot of buzz going into this year's sale on Monday and Tuesday night, just given the brilliant pedigrees that were in the book, and also the first crop stallions, the very exciting prospects of these first crop stallions, including Triple Crown Hero and American Pharoah. So overall, there was a lot of buzz going in, and in hindsight, hindsight, the results lived up to those expectations. A new record gross was set at $62,794,000. There were 5 horses to actually sell for $1 million or more. That was way up from only 2 last year. So there was a lot of buzz here in the last couple of days. But for those individual superstars, we'll get more into them and their pedigrees and the buyers and the sellers a little bit later on today.
Gabby, thank you very much. A record 2-day run at the Fasig-Tipton Saratoga sale. American Pharoah stole day 1 of the session. Medaglia d'Oro stole day 2. We'll have much more coming up later on in the show. These are the races we're going to bring you. This is the late pick 4. We're going to have it all for you. 1 mile, inner turf, 50,000 starter allowance to kick us off. By the way, track conditions good and sealed on the main track. Turf course has been downgraded to good as well with the weather. The 8th race, mile and 1/8 on the main. That 9th race, our quick call, the feature. And we'll close things out in the 10th with New York Breds in a $25,000 maiden claiming race ahead. Weather and track conditions presented by Piranha Fly Spray, the preferred fly spray of Saratoga Racecourse. Piranha on, pests gone. So as we said, good and sealed on the main, turf condition listed as good as well. Let's take a look at the field for race 7 and current odds. Cape Angel came here from Suffolk for trainer Joe Sharp, had been off since September and got the job done from the clouds. An incredible performance. Opens up as the favorite right now, guys.
And maybe rightfully so. This horse has really come into his own with that big performance right there. He had no chance of getting up if you're watching the race live, and yet he was able to, and now he has found a home. He likes this place. I think he's going to be very dangerous, and there's enough speed in here, Paul, to set things up.
Yeah, you make a good point, and he did have some issues in there. He had some traffic troubles, and then Lascano was able to time it just absolutely perfect right on the number and was able to nail Dark Energy. It was a bad beat. I thought it was a very difficult race. I thought because I was maybe forecasting that there could be rain. So 3, 5, 7, 9, 10. I thought I'm going to take a chance with Speak in race number 2, Spec. I just think JJ's Dreaming doesn't like to seal the deal, so I'll go for 1 for the least of those 2. And then race number 9, the quick call. Again, don't really know what's going to happen there with this rain in there. World of Trouble, if that race happens to somehow come off the turf, which I don't think it will, it's going to be very, very tough in there. And then 6, 8, and 12 in race number 10. I think I like the 12 the best, but I think a lot of people are going to like Giant Boo Boo in the last.
Frank Miramati, what'd you wind up with?
We actually have a similarly constructed ticket. I'm going to start here with 2, 3, 7, and 10. My top selection is Cape Angel, but I'm going to use a couple of others in there as noted. I think Speak is an absolute standout. The only issue is the wetness, because he has lost both races on wet tracks, but I don't think he didn't handle them. I think he's going to love every bit of a mile and 1/8. I'm actually expecting him to completely dominate today's 8th race. The 9th is an interesting race because there are a lot of horses that have speed, but I think World of Trouble is the speed of the speed, and if he takes to the turf like one of his siblings did, he's gone. Jason Service's numbers, which we'll get into later on in turf sprints and first-time turf, are absolutely spectacular. Majestic Dunhill was impressive winning at Monmouth Park. Dirty is a horse that I think is going to get hammered down from his 5-1 morning line. And in the last, my top pick is the 12, Wild Colonial Boy. That's another horse that I expect. A lot of public handicappers are on this horse for good reason. I think he fits well coming into New York Breds. I like some others in here, and there's some interesting horses, including a firster for Rudy Rodriguez. An American Ninja, I think, is very dangerous in this spot.
That's the pick 4 coming up. You can use your Naira Bets app to hit a trifecta in the quick call stakes today and earn a 10% winner's bonus. The app available in the App Store or for Android on NairaBets.com. Naira Bets offers a 10% winner's bonus on a selected stake every single day of the meet. Go to NairaBets.com for the full schedule. 14 minutes to post until we get started in the late pick 4 here on this Wednesday at Saratoga, and a competitive 7th race to kick things off. We'll be back.
Grade 1 winner Data Link by world-renowned sire Warthrop. Data Link scored in the prestigious Grade 1 Makers 46 mile at Keeneland, then set a new course record in the Grade 2 Monmouth Stakes. His runners include stakes winner Saratoga, along with a growing list of talented young runners. At public auction, his yearlings have sold up to $200,000. Data Link, standing at Claiborne Park.
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets.
Rushes out of there to take the lead.
It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates.
Off the turn with a link to the half lead.
Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200.
The dramatic finish.
Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Success starts at Saratoga. The Saratoga Selected Yearling Sale has established a reputation for high quality and high performance. Recent graduates include Grade 1 winners Avenge, Bolt d'Oro, and Moonshine Memories, and 2017 Breeders' Cup champions Battle of Midway, Stormy Liberal, and Rushing Fall. The nation's #1 sale by percentage of Grade 1 winners, the Fasig-Tipton Saratoga Sale, August 6th and 7th.
We found Breeders' Cup champion Rushing Fall at Saratoga. Where will you be?
Italian-American Day at Saratoga this afternoon. I actually made a trip over to the tent at the Coca-Cola Pavilion. They were out of eggplant parmesan when I got there.
Upset you a little bit, didn't it?
Oh, it's devastating.
It's very
all
devastating
kinds
here.
of great food, though. Playing some bocce ball, food, dance, entertainment, games, all of it celebrating Italian-American Day here at the spa on this Wednesday afternoon. Getting close to the 7th coming up. We're going to check in right now with Maggie Wolfendale with the Paddock Report. It's brought to you by Hillendale Farm, now standing Curlin for $150,000.
Well, Greg, it seems as though the rain has lightened up for the moment as we just got the riders up call here in the paddock for this event, starter allowance, and we'll check in with a horse who's coming off about a 4-month layoff, and that is number 3 in here, High Moon. Arguably, this is the the toughest field that he has faced thus far. A horse who certainly started modestly, this New York bred son of Posse. But boy, he looks fantastic here for trainer Mike Maker. Now, he is one that possesses some early speed, which oftentimes can be somewhat dangerous on this inner turf course going this mile. Moving on to number 5, Fly Off, who is second off of that extended layoff. Now, he'll try to get a mile here for the second time in his career. The last time he tried, well, it was right before that extended layoff, so you would have to think that something may have happened. But overall, physically, I'm not convinced that this guy wants to go this far. I mean, he's very stout, very round and compact and built downhill, and that's just all features of more of a sprinter. Now, it is only a flat mile on the turf. I understand. He could be able to get it, and he is a bit tighter having that blowout win for 40, breaking his maiden last time. But I'm still a bit dubious of his affinity for this type of distance here, Greg.
All right, Maggie, thank you very much. Fly Off 8-length winner Off more than a year's layoff for trainer George Weaver, the 5-horse last time out. That's impressive.
It is impressive, Greg, but it is a big question mark as to whether he's going to be able to duplicate that performance so quickly. And he had no competition whatsoever that day. Everything was a dream for him. I just think that this is the kind of horse that you have to try your best to take a stand against if the price is low, and that's what I did here.
Yeah, I'm sort of with Merriman here because, you know, off that smashing win, you don't win races by 8 lengths, and a little chilly on the board.
Yeah, 3-1 right now on Fly Off. The 2 is the morning line favorite in this spot. Our post parade here coming up. And we're going to begin with a 2 in here, La Máquina Gris. John Toscano Jr. off the claim. Javier Castellano will be aboard at 9-1.
And this is a horse 1 for 13 lifetime and 0 for 4 on the turf, but does have a couple decent races, so you're getting 9-1.
High Moon, the 3, Mike Maker trainee, quick here and cuts back in distance a touch.
This horse was running at such a low level at the fairgrounds, but once he was claimed and went to the turf, one of Mike Maker's tremendous assets that he brings to horses, this horse has been game. Last time he didn't lay down, even though he got beaten. The horse who won was an even money favorite with a perfect trip.
The Dow was impressive against a very low level on the turf at Gulfstream in the debut with Jorge Abreu.
Yeah, it was impressive. Got claimed and then put over his head, so look for him back with his friends today.
Here is the aforementioned Fly Off, one off the bench for George Weaver with Jose Ortiz.
He destroyed the competition, but this is generally the most dangerous bet in racing, taking a horse who broke their maiden, testing winners. I think he's very vulnerable.
Charnley River puts blinkers on today, and Joel Rosario will ride.
He's been popular at the claim box now 3 times in a row. They've tried blinkers in the son of Show a Heart, and he's 1 for 15 lifetime. I don't think anything's changing today.
Cape Angel, we talked about him earlier. He went from the clouds off the layoff for Joe Sharp back on July 20th here.
An explosive rally. Joe Sharp is on fire. This horse will be dangerous, and you can never count him out because he had no shot at getting up last time, yet he did.
And Danny Gargan has a couple here on the outside. Fuel to Burn will have Irad Ortiz Jr. aboard.
Fuel to Burn is a horse from a good family. The thing about him, he has lacked the knockout punch.
And another from the Danny Gargan barn. Blinkers coming off Blurred Line with Kendrick Carmouche.
Yeah, claimed 3 starts back. Now Danny put the blinkers on. It didn't work. 1 race experiment. Now blinkers go off.
So that is your field here for race 7 that kicks off this late pick 4, $332,000 and growing in the pool. Let's take a look at Fly Off in that comeback effort. He'd been off since May 21st of 2017 as we look at George Weaver. Broke maiden last time out on turf over the last 5 years, 14%.
Yeah, and the Jason Siegel doppelganger pitcher at 14%, very, very good. I mean, listen, here's the issue. He was off since May of 21st of 2017. He was 70 cents on the dollar in this race, Frank. Who was he really beating?
On paper, he couldn't lose. The thing that actually made me go against him is actually watching this replay, which you would think, wait a minute, the horse won by a block. But just look at his stride, and then you ask yourself, is this stride going to be able to match up with some of these other horses that have been facing tougher competition? To me, the answer was no, and maybe others will be on his bandwagon. I certainly don't blame them. He won very easily. He could have won by more. The time was fast. The Beyer speed figure was good. To me, this has just that look. It's almost like in the Let's Make a Deal show when you go like behind door number 3 and all of a sudden it looks so good and it's a giraffe.
What made me, though, kind of give this horse another shot and maybe some of the knocks say, okay, maybe the horse is more talented we're giving him credit for. George Weaver, off the bench, his numbers are usually not that good. For that horse to run like that when his numbers are very low,
No, listen,
does it make you think twice?
He might play a little poker. He put front wraps on him. It's not like they dropped him all the way to the bottom and sent him somewhere else. It was a maiden 40. And listen, he stopped the clock in 1:20 and change. And I get it that the Belmont turf course was blazing fast, but you're still running fast.
He was
a little bit of credit.
He was, and I usually don't like to let George Weaver beat me here at Saratoga. He's due to rack up some big wins.
Meanwhile, there is Cape Angel. He came off the bench back on July 20th. And from the absolute clouds, got up in time. And the ride from Jose Lezcano that day, he was so patient on this horse, biding his time. Today it'll be Luis Saez, but that was an impressive performance to get up and win by a neck.
It really was. It looked like at no point in the middle of the stretch where this horse was going to ever get there. Now, they have a rule, similar rule they have in California, where they actually can protect this horse if you've been off for a certain amount of time, and that's what Joe did. And for me to see that they were protecting this horse and maybe giving this horse a race, and the horse still won, means that the 7 could be better this time.
He could improve, certainly, and if he does, it's bad news for the competition. The good thing for him, there's plenty of pace, Greg, to set things up.
So there he is, looking to become the first multiple winner, I believe, here at this 2018 Saratoga meeting. 3-1 on the board, and he's taken plenty of attention here. Of course, Joe Sharp, everything he has sent out has been extremely live this meet. With more on Cape Angel, let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
And there's no other trainer that I'd want more with a horse coming off short rest than Joe Sharp here. He just does a great job. But, you know, some horses just react negatively to it. And I'm not saying that Cape Angel is definitely going to suffer from that. I'm just not seeing quite the same horse that I was back on July 20th here, opening day. And that he's a little more quiet. His weight isn't quite the same as it was. So those are just things I like to look for with horses coming off somewhat short rest. Look, it's been 2 weeks, basically, since his horses run. But still, I'm just not overly thrilled with his chances here. But I do get what you guys are saying. It makes him certainly appealing. Now, number 9 is Fuel the Burn, who will be stretching back out in distance. And he definitely has a bit of the bridesmaid look, at least as of late, with his close second and third finishes and being a short price and all of those. But today, you know, he's usually a horse that gets a little hot and washy. Today, he didn't at all. Now, whether that's a positive or negative sign, obviously we have to wait and see. But from a physical standpoint, this guy is actually more suited to a longer distance than a shorter one. He's got that longer back. He's a little more of a scopier build across the top line. So I'm thinking that Fuel the Burn, and he is taking some money, it's just a little more suited to these conditions, as Danny Gargan will send out 2 in here, Greg.
Yeah, he will. The other Danny Gargan runner, they're going to break right next door to each other. The 9, Fuel the Burn. The 10, that is Blurred Line. He shifted to New York from South Florida. He immediately broke his maiden, and he's making an equipment change today. For more, let's go to Gabby Gaudet.
Thanks, Greg. Well, I did have my eyes on this horse just because of the cutback in distance. Now, he's going to have to overcome that outermost post position here today, and the turf conditions might be a little bit questionable for him, but I love the fact that they're cutting him back in distance to the mile, from a mile and a 16th in his last 2 starts, and they're taking the blinkers off. They put them on last time out, and I thought that he was just too forward in that race. So perhaps, I know Kendrick Carmouche is an aggressive rider, but I'm hoping that they can maybe take him back off of the pace, get him to settle a little bit, and then go from there. So I have my eyes on this 9-1 shot.
All right, so case is made for both of the Danny Gargan runners there on the outside, the 9 and 10, as we take a look at our analyst selections in here. And, you know, back to Cape Angel. Frank, that's your selection in the race. Another feather in the cap here for this one coming up. We can't compare the Suffolk competition that he faced 2 starts back, but at least he won the race. He won by 4 lengths on a turf that was labeled good at Suffolk.
Yes, and it's funny you mentioned the Suffolk, because we were all watching this after the races at Monmouth Park, and I said, right now at Saratoga, people are walking out, throwing their programs, saying, how could a horse come from Suffolk and win here? It's because he fit very well in that race. He was well spotted, and that little W you see in your daily racing form, as Paul mentioned, the horse protected in that spot, kind of lets you know what the connections were thinking of this 4-year-old. He's going to have to run huge to repeat that performance, but I think he's legitimate.
Is he going to get enough pace to set it up for him? He comes from very far back.
Well, he should. He should. The 6 is putting the blinkers on. The 3's got a little bit of pace. The 2 does. The 9's a tactical horse. One of the 2 Gargan horses has got to go from the outside. I would think the 7 might lay dead last in this field, and I wouldn't be worried, because that's where he wants to be, and maybe he can unleash that run. And it was a wicked run last time, and it could be another wicked run today. He changes jockeys, but I don't think that really matters. This will be his 5th different rider anyway in his last 5 races.
And we can't know anything really about these fields either, but the 6 Charnley River, when he was running in Australia, turf courses that had a lot of softness in them, labeled heavy and good, sprinting on the turf. Even though he got beat at short prices, he ran well.
And then he ran well last time out. He puts the blinkers on here. To me, when I see horses like this that are claimed in back-to-back starts, there's something very positive about them. Number 6 and number 2, La Machina Gris, both claimed out of that July 13th race, and I thought both ran decently.
Over $600,000 in the late pick 4 pool, and now all of a sudden, after the betting public was a little cool, on Fly Off, the 5 horse. I know we're taking a look at the 4, the Dow here, but now the 9-5 favorite, the 5.
Well, listen, when you look, let's watch what we showed you visually. What was the most impressive winner? It was the 5, Fly Off. Now, he's going to have to repeat that against winners. It's the hardest thing to do in horse racing, and he could probably do it against this group. He's going to have to improve a little bit. I get it. Fuel the Burn's a type of horse that doesn't like to seal the deal, but he still is a 2-time winner, and that's something that the 5 needs to conquer too.
And we showed that long shot there for a moment. I wasn't even ready to toss the Dow, the 4 horse in here. He won first time out against, granted, a much easier field, but then he had to face Therapist in a stakes race in his second start.
He was completely overmatched that day. They took a shot. I don't blame them. You claim a horse, you see where you stand. Now he's back where he belongs because he's certainly eligible for this. What I like to do in races like this is to see who these horses faced when they broke their maiden, because that gives you an idea of how they fit in here. The reason I didn't go with the Dow, a maiden 20 down at Gulfstream is a very soft group.
Just about to load up, approaching $650,000 in this late pick 4 pool. You can get down at NyraBets.com to get into the sequence. There's La Machina Grise moving in for John Toscano Jr. Off the claim, but it is the 5 horse, Fly Off. He won for George Weaver off more than a year's layoff back on July 12th at Belmont. That was at 7 furlongs. Can he stretch out an extra furlong and win here at a mile and start off his 2018 campaign 2 for 2? We're going to find out. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of horse racing's Triple Crown for the call to kick us off here in the pick 4. Here's Larry Colmus.
Fuel the Burn has moved in, and here comes Blurred Line and Kendrick Carmouche up to the outside stall to complete the field here. And they're all in line. They're off. And it's High Moon who had the best beginning. Fly Off is up and on the pace too. And there goes Charnley River up between horses. Fuel the Burn is there on the outside. Then La Machina Grise followed by the Dow. Blurred Line is second last and 3 wide into that turn, and saving all the ground near the back of the pack here is Cape Angel to sit about 6 lengths off of front-running Charnley River. Joel Rosario takes the early initiative here with Charnley River. They're on top by 2 as they head to the backstretch. High Moon is running in second, now being passed on the outside by Fuel the Burn after a 24.16 quarter. A length and a half back to La Machina Grise and Fly Off, and they're together, racing about 5 lengths off the lead. The Dow is down 45 points and 7 lengths up the backstretch. And then it's Blurred Line on the inside, and Cape Angel is at the back of the pack. Charnley River up top, a 48.27 half mile. The lead is 2.5 lengths as they make their way into the far turn. Fuel the Burn on the outside is running in second. High Moon is third near the inside. Sent along now is Fly Off, who's on the charge. Fly Off is also under a ride, but 2.5 lengths from the front and beginning to move as they make their way toward the top of the stretch. Charnley River the leader. Fly Off coming 3 wide. Fuel the Burn between those two. Cape Angel switches to the inside and comes on, and La Machina Grise is down toward the rail. Wide open with a furlong to run. Here's Fly Off on the far outside. On the inside, Cape Angel. Fuel the Burn in between those two. Now it's Cape Angel. Cape Angel's in front here. Opening up from Fuel the Burn and Fly Off, it's going to be Cape Angel with a rail skimming ride under Luis Saez to win it. Fly Off's going to be second best, and then came Fuel the Burn, followed by La Machina Grise.
Cape Angel becomes a multiple winner here at this Saratoga meeting this summer for trainer Joe Sharp with Luis Saez, and Fly Off was taking all kinds of heat from the 9-horse Fuel the Burn.
Yeah, Fuel the Burn sort of makes the first move right on the leaders here. And you could tell now that Irad Ortiz Jr. is going to go, you know what, big brother or little brother, you're going to get floated out 8 wide because you're not going to win this race if I'm not going to win this race.
From last to first, Cape Angel just storms through on the inside and strides out. Clearly best. Good effort from Fly Off. And it was certainly not helped by those antics of Fuel the Burn at the top of the stretch. No question. Those two got to know each other very well.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. You got 2 brothers that are going at it, right? Obviously, if Jose doesn't go by the 9 in here, there's an inquiry. But there's not going to be one. They'll probably call Irad in. But what are you going to say?
Jose Ortiz, your reigning Eclipse Award-winning rider on the 5 Fly Off. His older brother, Irad Ortiz, on the 9 Fuel the Burn. And it was Irad on the 9 causing all those issues for the 5, which makes his second place performance all the much more impressive here. But Joe Sharp, better than 60% at the meet right there, and he doesn't mind getting a little rain on the suit.
Yeah, great ride here by Luis Saez. And This is a perfect indication on a racehorse where you have to check every single box. Joe Sharp claimed this horse from Neil Howard with blinkers, but the horse had never run with blinkers on the turf. Now 3 for 3 over it, and now there is the inquiry for second and third.
Yeah, as we expected here, unofficially, 7-5-9-2, but those issues with the 5 and 9 being looked at by the stewards. Let's go to Gabby Gaudette for more.
Thanks, guys. And here with winning trainer Joe Sharp. And it wasn't long ago that you and I were talking about this horse off of the layoff, protected for that waiver claiming condition last time out. What were your confidence levels like going into today?
We were very confident in him. He came out of that race awesome. Obviously, 2 weeks back is not ideal. But, you know, obviously we're going to target Kentucky Downs next, and we wanted a little bit of spacing between now and then. So,
what do you think of the skies kind of opening just before this race?
I was very nervous, and this weather's been pretty unpredictable this meet, but things worked out, and very happy for the connections. These are great local owners.
Joe, quick thoughts on later today, the quick call. You sound out Stolen Pistol. How is he doing coming into the race?
He's doing fantastic, and hopefully the race sets up similar because he's going to need a pace to close on.
All right, well, best of luck.
Thank you.
Back to you, Greg.
Gabby, thanks. Yeah, Stolen Pistol still to come in our feature. The quick calls won back-to-back starts to kick off his 3-year-old campaign. So Joe Sharp, maybe not done visiting the winner's circle here this afternoon as we take a look at the head-on. You're keeping a look at those two on the outside there. And ooh.
Well, it's not really much down the stretch. It's more around the turn when he floated him out, right, Frank?
That's exactly what happened. This is, part 2 of a 2-part series. We've got to get to the beginning of this, which is when Fuel the Burn was drifting out pretty badly at the quarter pole. But they have to look. And the one thing I've always felt, when one horse initiates it and the other one comes back in, you've got to take that all into consideration.
So the 9 initially caused those issues around the turn, but the 5 is definitely ducking in here in the stretch.
It's his brother.
Big horse. Be a tougher call than we think.
I can't imagine that they would take this horse down after he drifted that far out. But
here's the thing: the problem is that Irad was worried about Jose. He thought he had to beat Jose. Meanwhile, the 7 Cape Angel was better than both of those horses. So there's going to be no foul play there. There's going to be nothing to take it down because nobody's going to change positions, and maybe Irad will get a couple days or get talking from the stewards.
And that is Irad Ortiz Jr., the older brother, on the phone making his case right now. We take one more look, and it's Jose on the outside, Irad on the inside between these two.
Jose did come in a little bit saying, hey, you floated me out. Okay, let me give you a little bump here. Then we'll play, a little payback, yeah.
And sometimes that's not the jockey, it's the horse. It's a natural reaction.
When the horse changes leads.
Right, you got a horse leaning on you, they might lean back a little bit.
Yeah, there's the Clerk Scales with Irad Ortiz Jr. We're going to learn more about what his role is here at the racetrack, still to come. So Irad made his case. Now it's Jose's turn.
That's got to be pretty fun. That's got to be like, Irad and Jose, they've probably done that a lot with their parents or trying to plead their cases of what happened when they were young. Now they got to plead their cases to stewards. Pretty interesting.
Two brothers who are as competitive as can be, but also they are great friends. And they're two of the best riders, if not don't want to go there yet, but they're becoming two of the absolute best in the entire country. And, of course, Jose coming off that Eclipse Award last year, the first of his career, ending Javier Castellano's streak of 4 in a row.
I do like that this is like the 3rd or 4th time they've gone at it a couple times. They've rubbed before, hit before. You're right, they are so competitive. Jose's had a lot of seconds. He's been a little bit unlucky. Yeah, they are. They can competitive as they get.
Cape Angel, multiple winner now at the meet. For more, let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
We're up here, and I live in Connecticut today.
Oh, sorry. Oh, we're having our own side conversation, me and Anthony here. But Anthony, Cape Angel, his second win of the meet. He's the only horse to do that so far. How special is it?
For what Joe done with the horse, and excuse me, for me, it's a very special moment to see that horse in the winner's circle, not once but twice, and to have my family and everyone here with me just makes it so much better.
I was going to say, there was about 20, 25 people here in the winner's circle?
Well, the only 20 was able to get in. I think I have another 20 behind there somewhere.
And super special for you then. You were just telling me you grew up around here as well.
I did. And my father and my mother lived here all their life, and when I was a little kid, I was here at the racetrack, and got bit by the bug when I was young, and after that, it's just great to finally own a horse. And it's been 5 years since we got into the winner's circle. We had a nice horse back 5 years ago called Cantonic, who Joe did a wonderful job and became Joe's pony.
That's right. I remember that. Oh, how cool. So is this your only horse?
Yes, this is the only horse that we have in racing. Me and my partner here, Renee, and we're just very happy to celebrate with the family.
Well, Anthony, we're so happy to see you in the winner's circle here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Anthony, like Mike Rapoli Jr. here in the winner's circle.
That captures maybe the best that we've seen during the meet of what it's like to be in the winner's circle here at Saratoga. Well done, Anthony Damiano. Back-to-back wins here to meet the first multiple winner of this race meet here at Saratoga. By the way, we do have a change. Stewards made a change in the race. We saw the bumping between the Ortiz brothers. Order of finish was 7-5-9-2. They swapped the 5 and the 9, so now 7-9-5-2.
I don't agree with it. I cannot fathom that you could take a horse 10 wide and get penalized. I understand that the 5 came in and might have bumped them, but it did not cost the 5 a placing. It didn't cost anything. The 9 was never finishing second. First, Wolfie, the 9 took the horse out 12 wide. So that's not illegal? You're allowed to just take horses to the hot dog stand?
He took him, what, an extra path wide, to
Path
be fair.
Wide. I want to see the top of the lane again. He took him 10 wide. He was wide. Come on, man. And he passed the horse. The 5 was so much better than the 9. How are you penalizing the 9? Are you penalizing the 5? I'm asking you that. Are you agreement that the 5 was better than the 9? Was by far second best.
The 5 was second best, but you're overstating the case there when you're saying that
No. He was 9.
Wide.
He was floated 9 or 10 wide.
He
I want to see it. I want to see
when
it.
You say
What is that? Count the paths.
2 paths over.
Come on, man. That's where the pole is.
Right, but he's already that wide going into the turn.
Okay, so this right here is costing the 9 second place. You're telling me this right now. I'm not buying it.
Controversial decision, and that's why the stewards, they can't win whatever decision they make.
No, it's true.
Some
I get
are going
it.
to be
It's
happy,
tough.
some are going to be unhappy.
I get it's tough. But listen, there's no doubt the winner is the winner. He was the best.
That was a tough call. I agree with you, though. The 5 was the better horse here in this spot. But in the end, DQ time. And 7-9-5-2 in order of finish. But Cape Angel, back-to-back winner. And Joe Sharp, his tremendous meet continuing.
Solid training job, and this pick 5 is very, very exciting for those who are alive at this point in time.
This Naira Bets late pick 5, $125,000 in the pool. We start out with a $42 winner. Now a very tough race here to come up with Cape Angel. And if you're alive to this point, good luck. Obviously a long, long way to go, but starting off to look like where it could be maybe one ticket today. We'll see. Naira Bets late pick 5 follow along. This was from Monday. Pick 5, the Naira Bets late pick 5 paid over $8,200. The late pick 4, $974. The only difference was that first leg in the pick 5, Sheik of Sheiks, who was the favorite at 3-1.
Yeah, and Merger of Banks, I would think, was probably the single on 70% of the tickets, and it still paid that much. Pretty crazy. But the payoffs have been insane all meet.
Get signed up, get started, play along, get down in the Naira Bets late pick 5, $200 new member sign-up bonus going on now. Use that promo code Saratoga Live to take advantage of that and bet any track, anytime, anywhere. We will be back with more ahead. Race 8, taking a look at the field right now. Speak, the 2, Irad Ortiz will be aboard. His brother could be right next door on the rail, and JJ's dreaming. Right next door to each other once again.
And Speak is the horse that I believe is the deserving favorite in here, and the early money has shown up on him. Everything about him indicates that the further they go, the better. He's by Pioneer of the Nile out of an AP Indy mare. More importantly, watching his stride develop, I think, is what makes me love this horse today.
We're going to take a break in the action. We will be back. 8th race still to come. Triple Crown champion American Pharoah has been busy in his second career, and anticipation was high as his first crop hit the Saratoga sales ring.
Turning for home in front. Coast of New York on the outside.
to run. Bayern, Coast of New York, California Chrome on the outside. The three of them come to the wire. Bayern, Coast of New York, California Chrome. Here's the finish. Bayern holds on.
Back on Saratoga Live. The rain has stopped, and our feature is still to come. Quick Call. He was dubbed the horse for the course here at Saratoga. He performed so well here, won back-to-back runnings of the Forego in his second career, helping reform inmates at Wallkill Correctional Facility, and still going strong at the age of 34. Pretty incredible story. We're going to have more on that coming up later on in the show. A lot of fireworks here after the races on Monday over the last two nights because of the Fasig-Tipton Saratoga sale. Right across the street, and a lot of anticipation with the first crop of Triple Crown champion American Pharoah's youngsters hitting the sales ring. With more, we're going to check in with Gabby Gaudet.
Thanks, Greg. Well, naturally, there was a lot of buzz going into Monday night. Of course, it's not every day that you get a Triple Crown winner in his first crop as a stallion, and it was definitely productive. We'll start off with hip number 26, who was a very, very impressive-looking filly. This filly was actually out of multiple Grade 1 winner Life at 10. She was purchased by Larry Best at OXO Equine for $1.2 million. She was actually consigned by Gainesway, who bought her as a weanling last year at $500,000. So obviously there were high hopes from the get-go, and it was paid in dividends at $1.2 million. Moving along to hip number 62. This was a good-looking bay colt out of the mare Party Silks, which made him a half-brother to Upstart, who ironically ran against American Pharoah several times in his own career. Bob Baffert signed the ticket on behalf of MV Magner's Coolmore for $1 million. And of course, a nice little tie-in there as American Pharoah stands at Coolmore's Ashford stud. And last but certainly not least, another good-looking bay filly by Warfront. American Pharoah was not the only productive stallion at the sale. This was hip number 65. It was a good night for Claiborne Stallion Warfront. This filly sold for $865,000. Steve Young sold the ticket. Also, another filly by Warfront was a half to Tepin, actually, and she sold for $750,000 as well. So it was a very good night for Warfront. But for more on the sales topper, we'll check in with Maggie Wolfendale.
That's right, Gabby, and $1.35 million for hip number 196 by Medaglia d'Oro colt, in which the female family does include Champion Songbird. This one purchased by West Point Thoroughbreds, Rob Masiello, Chris Larson, and breeder Windstar, keeping a 10% interest in this high-priced colt, and also co-signed by TaylorMade Farm in Mark Taylor of TaylorMade Farm, stating that this horse has size, scope, walk, but the most important thing he has is between his ears, and just a very classy acting individual. Now, we will see 2/3 of that partnership group sending a horse out here in Danny, California, but I'm sure Gabby will catch up with one of those people, Terry Finley or Chris Larson, to get a little bit more about purchasing the sales topper in Medaglia d'Oro, who had quite a night on Tuesday, selling 5 of his progeny, which amassed $4.785 million. Pretty impressive, as we'll throw it back over to you guys on set.
Maggie, thanks. Yeah, that sale topper there, the Medaglia d'Oro, this horse was shown 65 times more than any other horse that they can sign. That's really unusual for a horse that's going to go for $1 million or more. People that can't afford it, they're not even going to waste their time. But there was so much buzz about this horse. Everyone just wanted to see this horse and what he looked like and all the buzz about him.
Well, part of the sales, if you've ever been to the sales, is that you want to do this as much as you can, because you want to bring the horses out as much as you can, because you want to see if they can handle the crowd, handle the big crowd. You want to see if you got yourself that kind of class of horse. Listen, you don't have any PPs in front of you. You have an animal in front of you that you're paying for the pedigree. You're paying for what the horse looks like. While they're bringing him out so much, they're trying to see what his mind looks like, Frank, basically.
No question. And right there, we looked at the top 5. That was like a full house. Medaglia d'Oro over American Pharoah. But there were so many people excited. We were having dinner late that night, and you could hear the table next, talking about a Liam's map that they bought, and they're so excited about, and all these other stallions. It was just a great day and a great atmosphere, as it should be.
Hip 62, of course, the American Pharoah. Bob Baffert said it was love at first sight. I like the sire. He made me famous. And he's going to be going back to Bob Baffert's barn. That was the only ticket Baffert signed that night. Pretty interesting to see that horse going back to his barn.
Over quantity.
This New York jockey colony, it is arguably the toughest in the entire country. But a young rider is holding his own here. That is young Dylan Davis, who says it's all in the family in this edition of Run Happy Jock Talk.
My father, actually, and that's my best jockey, yeah. Well, my dad taught me is always work hard and it will come. Almost everything, but I did grow up, I did work with Leslie Ward and a couple other jockeys in Kentucky, but mostly my father, everything. I had a family nickname, Bobo. One of my dad's favorite horses when he moved to California, the trainers that he was riding for, the barn nickname was Bobo. So he just adapted that to me. But there's a bunch of them, Double D, Dilly Dilly, a bunch of little nicks. The favorite part of Saratoga for me is the friends, because I grew up there and I graduated in Saratoga High School, so I got to meet up with a lot of friends up there. Twitter, yeah. I feel like it's a lot easier. Facebook, it got too much for me, so Twitter is more where I feel like a lot more of the horse racing business is into. Now it's my family. I mean, I didn't know what life was without them, so it's a pretty good feeling. My son, he's about 10 months old, and I spend a lot of time with him when I'm off of work. I got 3 dogs, 3 Jack Russells, Cooper, Callie, and Zoe. And I do play some Xbox also, Fortnite from Xbox, yeah. But between that and horse racing, not too much more.
Talented young rider. He is on the improve as well. Every day getting better and better. He's going to be on the 3-horse in here. Danny, California. Blinkers going on this afternoon. 9-2 on the board. There's a look at him. You're riding for West Point Thoroughbreds coming up. And looking for the second win of this 3-year-old son of a Fleet Alex's career ahead. Time for a paddock report right now. We're going to head back to Maggie Wolfendale. It's brought to you by Hillendale Farm. Now standing Bayern for $15,000.
Thanks, Greg. And just got word that the track is now labeled good and harrowed for this dirt race, 1 1/8 for these New York breds. And we'll check in with number 2, Speak, in here, who is your favorite, ridden by Irad Ortiz. Johnny Velasquez off his mounts today with a swollen ankle. Hopes to return tomorrow as Speak goes out for trainer Todd Pletcher, coming off a mild layoff dating back to mid-May. And this guy has run most of his races on a track with moisture in it, and he looks like a horse that handles it. He's actually run his faster races on those tracks with some moisture in them. So he's actually also gotten a bit longer, which I appreciate. He's steadily growing and kind of filling out that frame. And I always like to see horses improve their physical form each time they come over. And he does look extremely fit and well conditioned here for his connections. As guys, we're about to head out, I think, waiting on the jocks.
All right, Maggie, thanks. Another look at Dylan Davis coming up. He will be on Danny, California. Blinkers going on today for the Tom Morley barn. 9-2 on the board. Our 8th race still to come. Post parade. When we return, we'll have that for you coming up right after this as we continue along here on this Wednesday afternoon edition of Saratoga Live.
Record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Into the final furlong of the Claiborne Breeders' Futurity, and Classic Empire wins it in style.
Here's the Meyer, Classic Empire. He's a champion 2-year-old.
Here's the champ, Classic Empire, Classic Empire.
Back on Saratoga Live on this Wednesday afternoon. We got a little bit of rain that has gone away, and it's shaping up now to be a very nice afternoon. I see the sun peeking through, some blue skies as well as we start our post parade here for the 8th. Here, JJ's Dreamin', Jose Ortiz for Mark Hennig.
It's going to be very interesting what happens here early, whether JJ's Dreaming tries to take the initiative. We'll see what happens here as your second choice.
Had a 2-length lead last start and got run down late. The 2 is Speak. His older brother, Irad Ortiz Jr., aboard for Todd Pletcher.
Looks like the one to beat, and that's an understatement. To me, he should make very short work of this group.
Danny California, he actually beat Speak on a sloppy racetrack at Aqueduct back in February.
Yeah, Blinkers will go on, the son of a fleet, Alex. I think they wanted a little bit more rain to come down to help his chances. He's still going to have to move up to beat the 1 or the 2 here.
Carry Boy, the 4 Abel Iscano rides for Gabriel Goodwin.
In a search for something positive, I will say this horse has 2 wins on a wet track.
I like that. Positivity down here. In the 6, fullback Foy, Nick Zito trainee, Manny Franco rides.
Overmatched last time. Before that, he was racing over at Finger Lakes, well-traveled, and we'll try to fill out one of the minor awards.
3 to 5 on the board on Speak, who broke his maiden 2 starts back at Aqueduct and then ran second in the mud in his first try against Winners. And there's a look at Danny California. So he did beat Speak. He's more than, what, 4 times the price? More than that? 10 to 1 on the board? Oh, he's 5 to 1 right now. Excuse me. That last performance, though, is hard to get around.
Yeah, it is. I mean, because he won on a sloppy racetrack. We always talk about no sloppy racetrack is the same. His other 2 ones were good. And then the last time he ran just wasn't much. Now, his February 11th race where he won, there's a lot of moisture in the racetrack. We're not getting that much moisture, but it's a good win.
He beat him fair and square at the top of the stretch. Dylan Davis had to get after him, and then Speak had pulled away. It looked like he was home, and suddenly Danny California just starts grinding away little by little. Very honest. He's sticking his head out, and he knows where the wire is. He's going to come and get him, and there was really no excuse for Speak in that spot, with one exception. He did duel early with the other favorite in there, but still, at the top of the stretch, if you looked at the race, Danny California really earned that victory because it looked like Speak was home.
So Dylan Davis, he was aboard for that win. That afternoon, he is back aboard today. Speak off that performance. Well, he would put it all together on a fast main track at Aqueduct, and he erred by more than 6 lengths that day.
And the way he did it is why I absolutely have been waiting for this horse to go longer. As you could see here, he's battling at the top of the stretch, and he's going to take command here. And look, he's a horse that you have to stay after, Paul. You can see right here he's getting a reminder, and so you're thinking, okay, he might win this thing by a length and a half. Watch as he goes further and further. Does this ever look like it's going to be a 6-length victory?
No, he totally looks like a grinder. And I understand what you're saying. He's never been around 2 turns. He's got to answer that question. But when you watch his replay, he's got that grinding style. And I'm wondering with the 8 sort of came to the outside of him, he sort of took off again. But yeah, he doesn't have that devastating punch. But when you're going a mile and 1/8, you want that consistent motor, and maybe he has that.
Now getting that extra ground today. That win was at a mile. He went a mile again his next time out. He's never been beyond that distance. Today, getting a mile and 1/8, 3 to 5 on the board. Meanwhile, on the rail, there is JJ's Dreamin', son of Freud, for trainer Mark Hennig. And he had the lead late in the stretch back on June 15th at Belmont, and he got run down.
Listen, tough horse because those last 2 races, the numbers just come out of nowhere.
In fairness, the horse who beat him came from the clouds. But to me, this is a horse that has had many chances to get through this condition. I'm against him.
So JJ's Dreamin', 2 to 1 on the board. Back-to-back second-place performances. And as you see him finish up here, this will be his first start since June the 15th at Belmont, making his Saratoga debut on the main track. He ran here on the turf. Let's check in with Gabby Gaudette for more.
Well, Greg, here with Chris Larson, of course, a member of one of the purchasers for the sales topper last night. But before we get into that, you also bred Danny California, who makes his way to the starting gate today. What could you say about this horse in this race today?
Well, you know, I think Danny is a late maturing colt, and I think he's going to give a good account of himself today. You know, this is a strong field for him to compete in against older horses, but you know, we're looking forward to him taking a step forward, and obviously if we won, that would be great. But more importantly, we're looking for him to continue to progress and looking for bigger and better things out of him later in the year.
$1.35 million sales topper last night, the Medaglia Doro colt. What did you like about him? What did you and West Point thoroughbreds like about him?
Well, I think we've always liked the Medaglia d'Oro, and what really intrigued us was the Wildcat Air on the bottom. We've been looking for a horse of Medaglia's class with with a Wildcat Air or a Hennessy type on the bottom. And Terry called me up and said, "You can't miss getting in on this horse."
Well, it must have been a very exciting night. We'll let you go sit down and watch this race.
Thanks.
Good luck.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, back to you, Greg.
Next on Saratoga Live, our feature race still coming up. That is the Quick Call. It's a beautiful Wednesday afternoon here at the premier race meet in the country. Glad to have you with us at Saratoga Springs. Races 8, 9, and 10 still to come here on this Wednesday afternoon. Skies have opened up. Sun is coming out. Blue skies starting to peek out ahead here. Greg Wolf alongside former New York Met, LA Dodger Paul LaDuca, track announcer at Monmouth Park, Frank Miramati. And we have this 8th race here coming up, and all the attention on the inside 2 runners in this spot. JJ's Dreaming the 1. The 2 is Speak, who's the odds-on favorite. Brothers Jose Ortiz on the 1, Irad Ortiz Jr. on the 2. Next door.
Yeah, and Speak the 2, the one that's getting all the action right now. And the son of Pioneer of the Nile seems like he's getting better with each start. Now he's going to go around 2 turns for the first time. But he has the body type, and he looks like he has the running style to do it.
He certainly has the pedigree. As you mentioned, Pioneer of the Nile, AP Indy on the bottom. He should be able to run all day. His stride lengthens as the race gets further on in his mile events. I just think he's going to absolutely love this extra 1/8 of a mile today, and the fans happen to agree. He's 4 to 5, the 1 JJ's Dreaming, solidly backed. He's the older rival. He certainly has more experience, and he's honest, and he's getting bet late now. He's down to 8 to 5.
Usually, we're getting that time of the year, too, where 3-year-olds start to catch up a little bit with the older horses. But we've seen Todd Pletcher with his 3-year-olds here at this meet run very well against older horses. At what time do you start saying it's even with 3-year-olds facing older horses?
Listen, it depends on your horse, the maturity, just like anything else in life. But I think about this time of year, when you roll around Saratoga, it seems like the 3-year-olds do a lot better. Then when you get to the Breeders' Cup time, the 3-year-olds handle themselves well in the sprint. They handle themselves in the classics. Maybe just because they're lightly raced. I don't know. That's a good question. But this time of year, you can start playing them, I think.
We all agree the time has come for Speak to march through this condition. JJ's Dreaming has had plenty of chances, and he's also been accompanied by Trevor McCarthy, who's one of my favorite jockeys because he rides every step of every race. I mentioned that because Trevor rode him 4 times and was unable to get him through this condition. And believe me, it wasn't like he was just giving him some cruise control special. Trevor is on his belly, riding hard every day. I don't think JJ's Dreaming can match strides with Speak in the lane. I look for Speak to absolutely romp today.
Does the 1 go? Has to, right?
You would think, right? There's a lot of weight right now on this 2, by the way.
Yeah, a lot of weight, yeah.
All of us, 4 of a kind.
But the one's lone win was gate to wire. I get the fractions were not that fast. The 2 is faster than the 1. But are the Ortiz brothers really going to go at each other with the 9 to 5 and 3 to 5 favorite and compromise each other? It'll be very interesting what happens here early.
On a field like this, too, compact field becomes maybe a little bit of a rider's race. You don't want anyone really to get away, but it doesn't seem like there's anyone in this field that can.
Well, can Danny California go with the blinkers on?
Danny California is a nice horse. He beat Speak fair and square that day. There was no excuse for Speak other than a little bit of a duel early, but that was the first time he was going a mile. Danny California, I think, could easily finish second here.
There is the Speak. The 2 just stepped in the gate with Irad Ortiz Jr., his brother Jose, right next door on the 1. JJ's Dreaming, but it's Speak. His race to lose, heavy favorite here on the tote board as we get set for the 8th year coming up. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of New York Racing for the call. Larry Colmus, take it away.
Just one left to load here. Fullback Foy and Manny Franco will take up position in the outside stall. 3 to 5 on Speak, 8 to 5 on JJ's Dreaming as fullback Foy steps forward, goes in, and they're all in line. They're off. And Carry Boy flashes speed outside of JJ's Dreaming, who's sent along to take the early lead here, with Speak now moving up a spot into second into that turn. So these two will be 1-2 early on, with JJ's Dreaming having a very good start. Speak now up running in second. Carry Boy is on the outside of Danny California. Fullback Foy at the back of the pack as they make their way toward the backstretch. JJ's Dreaming in front, 3/4 of a length over Speak. These two complete the first quarter in 24.16 seconds, a reasonable pace onto the backstretch. Danny California, Carry Boy, stride for stride, third and fourth. They've got 3.5 lengths to make up, and they're 4 lengths ahead of fullback Foy, who's last up the backstretch. JJ's Dreaming and Jose Ortiz up top. Rod Ortiz keeps Speak a length behind, second by 2. Then it's Danny California. Carry Boy is now back 5.5 lengths off the lead, and 4.5 more back to fullback Foy, trailing through a 48.05 half mile. With a half mile to go, JJ's Dreaming still leads Speak by a length and a half. Danny California is now 4 lengths behind as they round the far turn. Carry Boy is drawing up alongside of him. Danny California is coming under a ride, and now Carry Boy grabs third. Around the far turn, JJ's Dreaming opens up to lead by 2. And now Speak is coming under pressure from second. Carry Boy trying to get involved. He's still about 6 lengths off the lead. 3/4, 1:13.06. They're into the stretch. JJ's Dreaming off the turn in front with a 4-length lead. Speak drifted wide as they turn for home. Still second. Carry Boy's on his inside as they come by the 8th pole. Jose Ortiz just keeping JJ's Dreaming busy here, but they're well clear. The race is going to be for second between Carry Boy and Speak as JJ's Dreaming strolls under the wire in front. Speak holds on for second outside of Carry Boy, and then came Danny California in 1:54.51.
JJ's Dreaming, the 4-year-old son of Freud, for Mark Hennig, with Jose Ortiz taking race 8 here convincingly.
Well, the race was won right out of the gate. The 2 did not break well, broke out and drilled the 3, and the 3, Speak sort of had a rush up. I don't know if he's ever winning this race. He had a rush up into contention, but the 1 just slaughtered this field.
I mean, I expected a big victory for Speak in this manner. I don't think there was any excuse whatsoever for the favorite, who had absolutely nothing. JJ's Dreaming started opening up on him. Speak had a perfect target. He was within a length down the backstretch. He was just absolutely empty in this spot, and JJ's Dreaming blew the field away. It's a homebred, so congratulations to the Sidemen stables, because it's always more special when you actually breed them.
It really is. It really is. And the New York bred too. And there he is, JJ's Dreaming. We'll show you the beginning, and the 2 sort of doesn't break great, but he breaks outward into the 3 and sort of runs into to Danny California, and it might have taken a tiny bit of steam because you thought the 2 would be a little bit closer, but I mean, apples to oranges. I've never beaten this horse today, huh?
No chance.
1, 2, 4, 3. Mark Hennig, there's your winning trainer. And Jose Ortiz already into double digits with victories, starting to creep up that leaderboard, and the jockey standing slowly but surely.
This proven son of Giants Causeway has sired 4 millionaires, including Claiborne Farm stallion Lee. Recent top runners include 4-time graded stakes winner Miss Sky Warrior, 3-time graded stakes winner Sharp Samurai, multiple stakes winner Bal Harbor, and Dubai Group 3 winner Shamal Nibras. Last year, his 2-year-old sold up to $540,000, while his yearlings fetched up to a whopping $575,000. First Samurai, standing at Claiborne Farm.
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets.
Rushes out of there to take the lead.
It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates.
Off the turn with a length and a half lead.
Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200.
Dramatic finish.
Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
It's Saratoga Live. Good to have you with us on this Wednesday afternoon. JJ's Dreamin' gets the job done in race 8. Second win today for jockey Jose Ortiz, trained by Mark Hennig.
He's the son of Freud, and he had been in this condition for a while, but he blasted this field. Speak was under the whip early. If Richard Steele, the boxing referee, was here, coming to the half-mile pole, he'd have been waving his arms. This thing was over.
It was.
Naira Betts, late pick 5 follow along. JJ's Dreaming with the win, and that might play big as well because an odds-on favorite defeated here in leg 3. Let's go to Gabby Gaudet.
Well, Greg, he definitely looked a winner every step of the way, but here with his winning trainer, Mark Hennig. And Mark, Jose's looking a little clean over here on this little bit of a muddy track. Was that the strategy to go to the lead today?
Well, we talked about it. We thought, obviously the 2 had some speed, and we didn't know about the Tom Morley horse putting the blinkers on first time, how much speed he would show. But we talked about in the paddock, I said, if he breaks well, don't be afraid to kind of try to float him out a little in the first turn if you get a chance. But Todd's horse fortunately broke a little slow, and that certainly helped us out a lot.
His horse has had flashy figures back-to-back races now, getting another victory today, too. What has caused or led to the turnaround for him?
I think part of it is the spacing. If you look, this was like 54 days between races. His last one was similar. He's a horse that puts a lot into his races. He's a great big horse, and I think maybe, we just got to keep that in mind going forward.
Well, Mark, congratulations on this one.
Thanks a lot.
All right, JJ's Dreaming takes some gate to wire here.
And I know Paul says it all the time, but do not adjust your set. This is not the Golf Channel.
Pretty well done, Wolfie. I like that.
John Daly lookalike.
Yeah, he does. He does. It's unbelievable. He won the British Open. What, how many times, Mark Hennig? I said that to him all the time. He's like, will you stop, please? But there he is.
That's
John
the last
Daly.
time ever.
We're
We're done.
As close as it
Well
gets
done,
here,
though. A
man.
couple of wins at the meet for Mark Hennig. JJ's Dreaming, 4-year-old son of Freud, with the victory in the 8th. Our feature race still to come. That is the quick call, 5.5 furlongs on the turf in World of Trouble. We talked at the top of the show about the good competition he's faced on the main track. This will be his turf debut, and he is opened up as the 2-1 favorite.
He's extremely fast, and there are others here with speed, but there's no idea other than going to the front with this horse. They will put the pedal to the metal right out of the gate. He does have a sibling that tried the turf 7 times and didn't hit the board. The other sibling was 1 for 2 on the grass. Jason Service is an absolute wizard in turf sprints. We'll talk more about that later.
All right, our feature race still ahead on this Wednesday afternoon. We're going to take you behind the scenes coming up and introduce you to the man responsible for everything to do with the jockey's room. That's next.
Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets.
Rushes out of there to take the lead.
It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates.
Soft got a turn with a length and a half lead.
Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200.
The dramatic finish.
Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
This successful son of AP Indy has sired 6 millionaires, including Eclipse champion West Coast, a multiple Grade 1 winner and runner-up in the $16 million Pegasus World Cup. This year, Flatter is adding even more stakes winners to his outstanding record at stud. In the auction ring, Flatter topped the 2018 Fasig-Tipton July sale with a $520,000 yearling. Success on the track, success in the ring. Flatter, standing at Claiborne Farm.
How do New York breds perform? They win in world-class company. From Grade 1 races in Dubai, where New York-sired New York bred Mind Your Biscuits won the Golden Shaheen for a second time, to Belmont adding to his status as the richest New York bred with a close second in the Met Mile. The Belmont Festival saw 2 more New York breds become millionaires. 4-star Crook in the New York Stakes and world record setter Disco Partner with a repeat victory in the Jaipur. New York breds, get with the program.
I am Tim Kelly. I am the NYRA Clerk of Scales. The Clerk of Scales in New York and most jurisdictions, we're responsible for the weight and here in New York and everything that happens in the jockey's room. There's pre-race weight checks, there's pre-race health records to be kept up, there's pre-race physicals to be kept up with. Basically, the Clerk of Scales is responsible for everything that happens in the jockey's room. That's in regards to the silks the jockeys wear, it's in regards to the saddling assignments by the valets. Most importantly here in New York is weight collection. Everything's collected on spreadsheets. So in New York and in NYRA, we've developed this system, and it keeps a very good integral part of the day is collecting weight for the jockeys as assigned in the racing program. And for that reason, we have weight collection. In New York, we check what we call weighing out and weighing in. Weighing out in the jockey's room, and thus the word weighing out, so that those saddles go to the paddock. And then after the race, myself or my assistant will go out front and we will confirm each rider coming to the scale with a number, and they'll get back on the scale. We have the same scales inside and out, and it digitally records the weight and the timestamp before and after each race. So in New York, unlike a lot of jurisdictions, we check all the jockeys before and all the jockeys after each ride for the racing day. It's a basic flow. We have a pattern of how we do our work. We try to do it that way every day to the best of our ability. I enjoy it.
All right, we learn something new on this show every single day, and as nice a person as you would ever want to meet, Tim Kelly. And by the way, his son Kevin, part of our production here each and every day on Saratoga Live. Recent graduate, I believe, Delaware Blue Hen.
Really?
So congrats to Kevin.
Yeah.
But now he's in the real world.
He is in the real world, and he's a little worried about paying real bills.
I think he just asked Dad, can I go back for a 5th year?
Yeah.
The quick call coming up next. It's our feature race here. 5.5 furlongs on the turf. World of Trouble. Talked about this horse at the top of the show. Turf debut coming up. One of 3 in the race for Jason Service.
Well, listen, like I said, for this horse to be that short in all the will pace, getting on a surface for the first time, they obviously know that the numbers are fast. Are they going to equate to the turf? You made a great point. 35% with 128 horse sampling is Jason Service in turf sprints.
6 for 23 first time over the turf. And in turf sprints at the Spa, how about this? 4 for 17, 11 in the money over the last couple of years. He's outstanding.
We're going to take a break in the action. When we come back, the story of what Quick Call is up to now. The 2-time winner of the Forego, the horse for the course here at the Spa. His 2nd career. Next.
How do New York breds perform? They win in world-class company. From Grade 1 races in Dubai, where New York-sired, New York-bred Mind Your Biscuits won the Golden Shaheen for a 2nd time, to Belmont adding to his status as the richest New York-bred with a close 2nd in the Met Mile. The Belmont Festival saw 2 more New York breds become millionaires, 4-star Crook in the New York Stakes, and world record-setter Disco Partner with a repeat victory in the Jaipur. New York breds, get with the program.
They're on. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with NYRA Bets.
Rushes out of there to take the lead.
It's easy on your computer or NYRA Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates.
Long's got to turn with a length and a half lead.
Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200.
The dramatic finish.
Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NYRABets.com.
Quick Call has a lead by off. Dancing Spree on the rail, second by 2. So quickly is third. Quick Call on the outside continues to lead. Dancing Spree is still second. Quick Call in front.
Here at Wallkill, we're so fortunate because we have some of our very famous New York racers. Sort of the rock star of the whole herd is Quick Call. He is looking wonderful. He's 34 years old and is beloved by everyone here who works with them, including all of us at TRF.
The inmates, when they come out here, that's who they go to. They're like, Quick Call, he's our old horse. You know, they want to care for him and they want to give him that extra attention to keep him around as long as we can. He's not like all the other horses. He sometimes doesn't like to be bothered. Sometimes he likes the attention. If you have food, he loves the attention. It's a little different than most horses.
I ain't gonna lie, it's like, I first came in, he grabbed my jacket. It was wintertime. I was like, oh no. I was afraid of her. Then I learned and I just kept working with him. Quick Call is a very good horse.
Well, TRF is the Thoroughbred Retirement Foundation Second Chances program up there at Wallkill Correctional Facility in New York, where retired racehorses like Quick Call get a life they deserve after racing. And part of that is working with inmates and teaching them new life skills like respect, empathy, responsibility. Of course, on the racetrack, Quick Call nearly won the Forego 3 years in a row. He just missed in 1990 in a narrow defeat. Maggie Wolfendale firsthand got a look at him at Wallkill. Maggie?
And I was truly honored to be in the presence of Quick Call, a horse of his kind of accomplishment, to still be around, to know that he is the dominant one in his little herd. Oh, it was just so cool. Ernie Munich and I, we were out there shooting, and it was just so neat to hang out with him. We both got chills, and he just has such a storied and a historic kind of presence here at Saratoga, and obviously that's where this race gets his name. And I'm sure if he was selling as a yearling, he might bring some big bucks, as we'll check back in with Gabby Gaudette for more on the Fasig-Tipton Select Yearling Sale.
Yeah, Maggie, that was a long, long time ago, as Quick Call obviously is 34 years old. But to check back in on day 2 of the Fasig-Tipton Selected Yearling Sale, well, day 1 was all about American Pharoah and his progeny. Day 2 was all about Medaglia d'Oro and his progeny. He actually had 3 of the top 5 sales toppers here, and that just goes to show you what significance a good year does have as a stallion. He, of course, is the sire of Elate, Bolt d'Oro, Enticed, and Wonder Godot, heading towards the Travers Stakes. But this was HIP 196, the sales topper at $1.35 million. This horse was sold to West Point, Rob Masiello, Sienna Farm, and Chris Larson. The mare, of course, is closely related to Songbird. Terry Finley, part of West Point Thoroughbred, said, quote, "This horse gave me goosebumps." As we'll move along to HIP 204, this was the second highest purchase at $1.3 million, going to Phoenix Thoroughbreds. Overall, Phoenix Thoroughbreds purchased 7 horses for a total of $3.6 million. This filly is a half to Preakness winner, Exaggerator. Steve Asmussen, who was standing by the connection, said, quote, "She is a work of art." And last but not least, HIP number 143, this really attractive bay filly, went for $1 million to Roy and Gretchen Jackson at Lyell. And she is actually out of Veracity, who is full sister to, the mare's actually a full sister to Elate. And of course, the Jacksons were really interested in the pedigree of this filly just because of her residual value from the get-go. She probably wouldn't even have to step foot on the racetrack and still be valued at top dollar. But Medaglia d'Oro obviously was very successful at the sales in general. And Greg, so too were some of those first crop stallions, including Honor Code, who happened to get 7 sales horses at an average at about, I think, $384,000. So overall, Day 1, Day 2, Monday and Tuesday night were really exciting for both buyers, sellers, and even the consigners.
Gabby, thank you. Yeah, record 2-day run at that Fasig-Tipton Saratoga sale. And Terry Finley at West Point Thoroughbreds, they were involved with that Medaglia d'Oro sale topper, said, "This horse gave me goosebumps when they got him."
Yeah, and look, I think Frank would not, or myself would not balk at having one of those horses, but we'd take all 5.
Give us a little piece of any of them.
Right?
This is the American Pharoah, though. who kind of stole the show night one, and so much anticipation to see the Triple Crown winners' first crop hit the sales ring.
Yeah, listen, Cairo Prince did very well, like she was saying, honor code. We're going to see Run Happy here next year. Very interesting next couple of years. We'll see how the champ does, Pharoah.
We're going to take a break in the action. More coming up. Our feature race, the Quick Call. It is next. And the turf debut, World of Trouble, coming up.
Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with NyraBets.
Rushes out of there to take the lead.
It's easy on your computer or NyraBets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates.
Soft got a turn with a link to the half lead.
Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200.
The dramatic finish.
Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NyraBets.com.
Welcome to Saratoga Live. It is presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Good to have you with us. Those that just joined us on Fox Sports 2. It's our feature race coming up. The quick call time for our post-parade. And here's World of Trouble, the turf debut for trainer Jason Service.
Yeah, the one to beat in here, the son of Cam Theros, is going to try the turf for the first time. 2 for 5 lifetime.
This horse would not be denied in a stakes win at Monmouth last start. Majestic Dunhill for George Weaver.
And he had come back off a long layoff in his previous start to win. The only bouncing he did was right back into the winner's circle.
Clouded Judgment sent out by Lacey Gaudet. Blinkers go on today. Florent Giroux rides.
You know, 3 starts back, he went an off-a-turf event. They tried him against Majestic Dunhill last time. Now, like you said, the blinkers will go on. Maybe that will help.
Big price here on a different style for trainer John Service. Kendrick Carmouche aboard.
The horse has won in various environments. The big question, of course, an obvious one, turf.
Yeah, first time on the turf. He is very quick, though. Here's the 5 Fig Jelly trained by Jason Service. Jose Lizcano rides.
Yeah, gate to wire winner last time out, but the wire sort of saved this gelding by Forestry. Now I'm wondering if there's going to be more pressure on him today.
Shang Royal, it's Mike Maker first off the claim with Javier Castellano aboard.
He's outstanding in these circumstances. That was a very easy win. He dominated that last performance. Is related to a very nice turf horse named Cali 37 and ran well on the turf. Interesting candidate.
Jeremiah Engelhardt sends out Dirty with Jose Ortiz.
Great name considering the dam's name is Martini here, 7-2, and maybe the colt to beat in here.
Like what I see, we have a rider change on the 8. It is Manny Franco for trainer Gregory Sacco.
This horse came flying in the My Frenchman over at Monmouth Park, second to Majestic Dunhill. That was an outstanding turf debut.
New legend, the 9 Junior Alvarado for trainer Ben Colebrook, coming off a maiden score on synthetic.
Yeah, breeder here, Shin Sang Sub for Ben Colebrook, son of Menifee. Not bad last time in Arlington Park.
This will be the turf debut. And the 10, Stolen Pistol. We saw Joe Sharp win back in the 7th with Cape Angel. Luis Saez aboard here.
Back-to-back wins, taking a step up in class, but this barn can do no wrong. Faces a tough task here.
The 11, Colton, Mississippi. Blinkers coming off for Todd Pletcher and shortens up in distance.
Yeah, I could see this. You mean, look for this horse late with the blinkers coming off, cutting back in distance. And that Bridgetown was better than looked third.
And Totally Boss, Rusty Arnold sends out this son of Street Boss with Ricardo Santana Jr.
Outstanding horseman is Rusty Arnold, and this horse took to the turf very nicely last time out. Takes a big jump up, looks well in the post parade.
Full field coming up for our feature race here on this Wednesday afternoon in the 9th running of the Quick Call. For more on our feature, let's check in with Maggie Wolfendale.
Thanks, Greg. And 5-2 on your inside runner, World of Trouble, trying the turf for the first time. Yes, he does drop out a graded stakes company, but still, he's facing a field of horses that have proven turf for him. Looking at him overall, physically, he looks fantastic, but he's not that convincing getting on the turf. I mean, he's a son of Quinteros. On the bottom side, they've handled the turf, but they're better dirt horses, so we'll see what he does. His number 2, Majestic Dunhill, comes off the back of 2 victories, including that My Frenchman, and he was impressive that day. I know you guys will touch more on it, but he kind of had to change directions about 3 or 4 times, and physically, boy, this guy has done so well since the last time I had seen him, which was as a 2-year-old. He is grown up, filled out. He looks apart. He looks like a boss out on the track. Moving on to number 6, Shang Royal. Don't often see horses claimed and then showing up in a stake the next time, but this is what Mike Maker does, and he'll be doing here with this runner who's only been on the turf once, but I like him on the turf. As Frank was bringing up, has some turf pedigree. These Shanghai Bobbies, they haven't done that much on the track, but they've been better turf horses, and gosh, this guy looks great. Looks as though he's thriving up here up at the spa. Number 7 is Dirty. He will look to go 3 for 3 in his last couple starts for Jeremiah Englehart. Another one like Majestic Dunhill is just doing very well and has those turf races, has some speed, or he can lay off of it. He's very versatile, and I really like Dirty as well. As number 10, Stolen Pistol. Another one riding a 2-race win streak into this for the white-hot Joe Sharp barn. And he just strikes me as a horse that as he's come back, yes, he's stepping out of New York bred company in which he's dominated, but he's also thriving on his racing, and that just really shows physically with him as well. So we'll see how Stolen Pistol does. And it's funny, guys, Joe Sharp is on a roll, but his main client, Brad Grady, he has yet to win a race for him. So hopefully they can get off that here together. But Mike Dubb, he is standing by with Gabby Gaudet to touch in on his runner, Fig Jelly.
That's right. Also sending out World of Trouble here, Maggie. And World of Trouble, he's been incredibly impressive as a dirt sprinter. So why turf?
Well, the name might belabel the cause. World of Trouble was supposed to run in the Amsterdam a week ago this past Saturday. Came up with a fever the day before. We thought about it and said this horse is bred for turf. This race is in front of us. Let's find out. Maybe we'll have a real nice horse on turf, and the horse is ready to run, so we'll give it a shot.
You kind of see how he performs here and then kind of come up with a plan moving forward, maybe for the Alan Jerkins?
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be a lights-out performance to take us off the path for the Alan Jerkins, but it could be. I mean, there's some give in the turf. I don't know first-time turf give. I don't know how that is all going to work out. I do know the horse is doing good. Wish it didn't have a fever 8-9 days ago, but that's horse racing.
It's very unfortunate. So plan B on the turf today. But you also send out Fig Jelly. I kind of feel like this horse kind of complements at least World of Trouble's running style.
Well, I mean, I think, we acquired Fig Jelly. We won right off our first start. This race, too, as a 3-year-old, was right there in front of us. The timing seemed right about 5 weeks. And if the horse moves forward, we do think he'll be right there and at a very nice price, hopefully.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, Greg, Mike Dubb with 2, a nice little pair in the Quick Call.
Yeah, 2 big contenders in what is a wide open race. Of course, Monomoy Girl, Coaching Club American Oaks winner, involved with that one as well. And perennially, especially at Belmont, he is right up there among the leading owners.
Great for the game. Loves the game. You can see him here. He talks to the fans. But I'll tell you what, I think my temperature is going up thinking that this horse had a temperature so recently. Yes. I always like Perfect Plan on the way. I thought he looked good on the track, as Maggie confirmed, but that's certainly a little bit of a concern. He's very, very fast. There are some others with speed in here as well. It'll be interesting to see what develops. There are a lot of horses with upside potential today.
No, there is, and I'm surprised he's the favorite. I really am at 9-5, just because, you know, first time doing a lot of things. I get his numbers are the best. I get he's been running against the best horses. But Mike, even the owner, Michael's telling you, I don't know what's really going to happen. If he takes the turf, he's going to be really tough.
And look, he's real quick on the main track. That doesn't always translate, though, on the turf, but he has the inside post as well. He's got to go, right?
I would think so.
100%.
And, I mean, Fig Jelly, the other one in here, has a little bit of speed. I don't think he'll get in a speed duel, but
he's nowhere near
he might be just the best horse in here, regardless if he likes the turf or not.
No, he might have company. Another horse trying the turf for the first time. Trained by Jason Service, his brother John. Kendrick Carmouche is a speed rider on a different style of 4 stepping in. I don't know if he'll be around late, but we expect to see him early.
By the factors have been good on the grass. There's no turf on the bottom side, however.
8-5 favoritism, World of Trouble. We'll have the rail. And Irad Ortiz Jr., the meet's leading rider in the irons. It is our feature race. 9th running of the quick call. Will World of Trouble the one take to the grass? We're going to find out. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of horse racing's Triple Crown for the call, Larry Colmus.
Here's Colt and Mississippi moving into the starting gate along with Shang Royal, and Totally Boss will be the last of 12 to load here. Totally Boss goes in, and they're all in line. Breaking through the gate here is Dirty. Dirty a bit over anxious here. Has gone through the starting gate, so we're going to have a bit of a delay here in the start of the quick call.
So you see Dirty breaking through the gate. Did not get very far away, did not exert a lot of energy, but he'll get looked at. Jose Ortiz doing a good job keeping this one comfortable as the outrider catches up to him.
Certainly doesn't help his chances in here. He has been very impressive. I actually spoke with track announcer Dave Rodman, who I consider one of the absolute best in the business. He was very impressed with the last performance at that second finish line at Laurel.
Maggie Wolfendale is down near the starting gate. Let's check in with her.
I like to hear that, Frank. I respect Dave's opinion very much as well. And Dirty, Jose, as you guys were saying, just did a great job of keeping this guy under wraps. But let's face it, we don't often see horses winning when they break through the gate before the race. It doesn't look as though it's made him too wound up. He's still nicely on the bridle and very willing for his rider and the outrider. So that's a good sign. But can I change my pick?
You still have a few seconds. Yeah, not a great sign, but again, the positive here did not exert a ton of energy as he moves back in the gate. Let's go back upstairs to Larry Colmus.
All set. They're off in the quick call. World of Trouble started well. Dirty on the outsides, flashing some early foot too. Shang Royal is up and on the pace between those two. Then it's Clouded Judgment, followed by Fig Jelly. On the far outside, Totally Boss is next. Then back to Like What I See, a different style to the inside, followed by New Legend. Majestic Dunhill is down toward the rail. Stolen Pistol is next. Colt and Mississippi at the back of the pack through a 22.68 quarter. World of Trouble on top on the far turn. 3/4 of a length ahead of Dirty running in second. Shang Royal is running in third, followed on the inside by Fig Jelly in fourth, about 3.5 lengths off the lead. Totally Boss 3 wide on that turn. Behind them, New Legend and Like What I See, and they're into the stretch. World of Trouble off the turn in front. On the outside, Dirty trying to get by. Fig Jelly is down toward the inside in third. Totally Boss is fourth and putting in a bit on the far outside, but still World of Trouble there with Dirty. These two are 1-2. Outside of them, Fig Jelly. Totally Boss is fourth. This World of Trouble just keeps on going. World of Trouble will win the quick call. Fig Jelly edged out Dirty for the place, and then came Totally Boss and Stolen Pistol in 104.11.
World of Trouble, I think he took to the grass here in his debut. He gets the job done here. Dirty looked like he was going to get second. He's passed late by the 5, Fig Jelly.
Yeah, Fig Jelly ran a good race to re-rally here, but no doubt about it. The race was 1/4 mile out of the gate, Frank. I mean, listen, when the horse got on the front end, you knew he was going to be tough.
That's where he was supposed to be. He was the quickest of the quick. Jason Service, his work is outstanding, as we all know, in so many different categories. But in turf sprints, he puts on exhibition after exhibition. This horse had the legitimacy in that one sibling had won, and he was just too fast for them. Obviously, the issue at the gate did not help Dirty at all, and I think what that might have made him do is show a little more speed than he needed to have that necessary kick late.
8-5 on World of Trouble. Let's go to Gabby Gaudet.
Well, he's trying to direct the troops to the winner's circle here, but wow, what a performance we just saw.
I don't have much of a voice left, so I'll do the best I can.
I saw you rooting and cheering. How exciting is this to see this horse transfer his form to the turf?
It's really good. I got to consult with the Professor Jason and figure out what we do next. I'll leave it to him. He knew this horse was turf from the get-go, and this may have been a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, well, we will see. Well, we'll let you go celebrate. There's Mike Deb, very, very happy, obviously, with this winning performance from his horse, World of Trouble.
As he should be. World of Trouble, turf debut, a winning one, and now these connections have all kind of options with this horse.
They ran 1-2, by the way.
Yep, Jason
yeah,
Service.
Yeah, a little World of Trouble, and then throw a little fig jelly on your toast. Okay?
At 7-1 there, just to help your exacta. Dirty winds up third, Totally Boss. The 12 horse at 16-1 completes your superfecta. Michael Dubb having a nice meet here at Saratoga. That Coaching Club American Oaks victory. And now this horse getting the job done here in the quick call. Picks up the third win, 6 career starts. We'll be back to wrap this race up when we return, and we still have our nightcap ahead. All smiles from Michael Dubb and company. We'll be back to the spa right after this.
This graded stakes winner and multiple Grade 1 performer by Tapit has become one of the nation's leading sires of 2-year-olds. Ranked #1 in his crop by number of winners, he sired 11 stakes horses in 2017, including graded stakes winners Wild Shot and Oklahoma Derby winner Untrapped. At the sales, his yearlings have sold up to $480,000. Trap Shot, standing at Claiborne Farm.
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets.
Rushes out of there to take the lead.
It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates.
Long's got to turn with a length and a half lead.
Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200.
The dramatic finish.
Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
Back on Saratoga Live, and in those silks, Michael Dubb and Madacat Stables, World of Trouble taken to the turf in the debut for trainer Jason Service, Irad Ortiz Jr. aboard for the victory and returns $5.40.
Yeah, congratulations. The son of Cantheros has a valid expectations mare, meets expectations, and he has so far 3 for 6 lifetime and about 250,000 plus in his bank.
He was the favorite in the Tampa Bay Derby at odds of 8-5. You get 8-5 for his turf debut today. A sizzling one.
Yeah, for briefly on that Triple Crown trail, but now turf sprint win for World of Troubles. We take a look at the Naira Bets Late Pick 5 follow along. First favorite that we have seen win in the sequence with a monster number to start it off.
Well, yeah, it started off with Tis Now Smile, who was just 20-1 in a short field to Cape Angel. That turned out to be a very, very expensive double, but it's been a little bit more formful the last two.
There's Michael Dubb, gets a stakes victory. Let's go to Maggie Wolfendale for more.
And here with rider Irad Ortiz, who was aboard World of Trouble. And Irad, as we were just talking, the turf course a little more on the softer side, but he handled it well and pretty good time considering.
Yes, he did. He run really good first time on the grass. It's really soft. I think 104 is a good number. It's a little fast the way the track is right now.
And do you think he's a horse that when it gets back to a firm course is going to appreciate even more?
I think he's going to improve a lot when he get the firm turf. He looked like he got a quick acceleration, big turn of foot, and I really like what I feel today.
I was going to say, he's fast out of the gate, but he also has enough at the end, too.
Yeah, he really broke. You know, when I asked him and he hit a couple of times, he gave me another gear. He was good.
Looks like a promising turf sprinter now. Irad, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, guys, World of Trouble has found a home on the turf.
Certainly looks like it after that performance in the turf debut, and there he is heading back to the barn. 2 prior wins, and they were by, I mean, monster margins. Granted, he debuted against 25 maiden claiming, but he did have a stakes win on dirt at 7 furlongs, the Pasco at Tampa by 13 3/4 lengths as well.
Yeah, what a lot of people don't realize, he knows he's going home right now to get a little massage, a bath, and get fed, because he just got a winner, and sprinkles are for winners.
That is true. Good thing to remember.
Yeah.
It's time for what's trending right now, and the Walk of Fame is going to get a new member here at Saratoga. 2018 inductee will be 4-time Eclipse Award-winning trainer Bob Baffert. Has 11 Grade 1 wins here at Saratoga, including back-to-back winners of the Travers with Arrogate and West Coast.
And he loves this show. He told us on Monday night, I didn't ask about it, he said that he really enjoys watching you guys every day and kind of battling it out with your picks, and he's very impressed with this talent.
Yeah, he's big on the... Bob's a jokester, if you don't really know him. He's big on texting. I wore a bow tie one day, and he texted me I look like Pee Wee Herman. I have not worn a bow tie since then, so thanks for that complex, Bob, but thank you for watching the show, too.
And again, one of only 2 trainers in the history of this sport to campaign 2 Triple Crown winners. American Pharoah ended that 37-year drought. Now he's going to have a son of American Pharoah in his barn.
And he deserves a lot of sons and daughters of American Pharoah, one of the great training jobs. One thing that people don't take into consideration, American Pharoah had some foot trouble that he had to overcome as well and was still able to do what he did. And that's not easy. When you have setbacks, usually particularly on the road to the Triple Crown, you have no shot.
There was... Go ahead.
No, go ahead. The thing that's interesting to me is that probably the 2 best trainers I've seen in my lifetime are Dwayne Lucas and Bob Baffert when it comes to dirt runners. And their career started in quarter horse racing. And what's that with? That's speed. It just shows you speed wins races, and they instill speed into their horses. But what makes them special, they instill speed in their horses that can keep going and going and going. That's what made Lukey special, and that's obviously what makes Bob special.
Well, that red jacket ceremony is going to happen on August 24th here, the day before the Travers, and Baffert will be inducted in the Saratoga Walk of Fame. You mentioned that what he overcame with American Pharoah. Also did that little thing overcoming the curse of Apollo in just 111 days. Maiden win to Triple Crown winner with Justify as well. That was pretty good, too. So he's accomplished just about all you could want more in a Hall of Fame career. Set the stage for race 10 coming up. Our nightcap. New York bred maiden claiming event, 6.5 furlongs, Giant Boo Boo. Off to claim for Jeremiah Englehart, the favorite right now.
You had a Giant Boo Boo at one time in your life, didn't you?
I was Yogi Bear was the Giant Boo Boo. Hey, Boo Boo.
Boo Boo just ran second at this condition last time out. Can he do it one better? We'll talk more about it when we return here on Saratoga Live. We'll also have this story of Quick Call when we come back.
Once again, among the world's leading sires of stakes horses and graded stakes horses, Warfront has sired 8 champions and 8 millionaires. Recent Grade 1 winners include European champion U.S. Navy Flag and Lancaster Bomber, plus an ever-growing list of 2018 graded stakes winners. In the sales ring, his yearlings continue to bring prices well over $1 million. International Super Sire Warfront, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Welcome back to Saratoga Live as we are here in the winner's circle, and there were a lot of winning bidders this past weekend, or I should say racing weekend. Maggie Wolfenale and Gabby Gaudette here, and the Fasig-Tipton sales, Gabby, the entire sale itself was one of the biggest in history.
It really was, and record-breaking sale, to be honest, at every single level. And I think going into the sale this year, you know, there was a lot of buzz surrounding some of these first crop stallions. There's a lot of buzz revolving around Medaglia d'Oro and just his progeny, and the progeny, his success so far in 2018. He's had multiple stakes winners, so it lived up to the billing. And it did. And another sire, a new sire that got off to quite a bang is American Pharoah, our 2015 Triple Crown winner. Might have helped that we had a Triple Crown winner trained by the same trainer this year, but his progeny, and you can touch on this too, wow, were they beautiful. I mean, just from head to toe, they were just phenomenal looking animals. Well, it seemed as though, too, is that he hasn't quite stamped them as his yet. They all kind of look different, and a lot of them look like they're broodmare sires. So, ooh, hip 26 getting a bit frisky, but the Medaglia d'Oros, you know, he's one of my favorite sires. I love all of his progeny, and they sold 5 of them sold on Tuesday night, and they amassed $4.785 million. This is the sales topper, 1.35 for this son of Medaglia d'Oro, the female family, including Songbird. Yeah, and he had 3 horses actually go in the sales ring for either $1 million and over. So he had 3 in the top 5 of the overall sales result. So I would say that is not too shabby.
No, it is not. Horses like Elate, like Songbird, even going back to Rachel Alexandra, have certainly helped Medaglia d'Oro's fame and his progeny, bringing in a lot of money. And overall, this sale was really exciting to watch for people that didn't even have a bid.
And just in general, the sale is so fun to go out and witness. You see people from all sides of the industry at the, the top of the top, the cream of the crop. So, no, it was a really fun and exciting 2 nights, and very fun to see the success here in these top 2 stallions.
Yeah, it was, and we'll be looking for them in a couple years, Greg, to show up here at the spa and make their racing debuts.
Well, we can't wait for that. That hip number 62, that American Pharoah colt, Bob Baffert said, again, it was love at first sight, and he said he sees a lot of American Pharoah in him. Going to be a lot of fun to follow these horses. By the way, very emotional night, that second day of the sale. Fasig-Tipton president Boyd Browning Jr. had to compose himself on several occasions, actually choking back tears as he remembered the late Bill Graves, who was really widely credited with the success not only of Fasig-Tipton, but also putting together the Saratoga sale. So a very special moment last night. They had an incredible record-setting sale in which they remembered him. Race 10, $25,000 maiden claiming event coming up, and we're going to look back at Quick Call when we return. Stay tuned.
His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
I'm a horse whisperer. I'm a superhero to these guys now.
In 1983, the Thoroughbred Retirement Foundation was born to protect racehorses no longer able to compete from possible neglect, abuse, or slaughter. Championed notably by Secretariat's owner Penny Chenery, Kelso's owner Alaire DuPont, and philanthropist Monique Kohler, thousands of thoroughbreds have been given forever homes. But at the same time, those horses have changed the lives of the men and women who take care of them through the innovative Second Chances program.
Instrumental in the Second Chances program was Senator Howard Nolan, who was a state senator here from the state of New York, and he helped connect the Thoroughbred Retirement Foundation with the New York Department of Corrections. And it was really a large part of his brainchild to put the horses at a prison facility. And thanks to a beautiful and amazing place like Wallkill, where we have the benefit of saving the horses and at the same time really saving the men who are here and changing their lives.
Particularly if, he was the last one that recently, a few months ago, they were going to take him and put him down. And I pleaded with them actually to give me 1 month. because I've done it twice with the 2 other horses, but they thought that he was so far gone that he wouldn't make it. But she agreed reluctantly, and now he's my guy. He follows me around. I like to think that he's grateful.
So you have, 2 sets of inmates. The ones that want to work with the horses are eager to get out there. They've usually had horses or had animals, and they want to get back out there working with animals. And those that just want to work out there because it's a job usually come in for a rude awakening because they think they can go out there and they can kind of hide or maybe not work so hard. And they quickly realize how much work is entailed in taking care of a horse. And sometimes we have men who go out there and they don't want to be there and they have an attitude, and the horses usually very quickly put them in their place and make them realize who's in charge. And I think it's helpful for the inmates because then it kind of makes them realize that not everything is centered around them.
The first thing I thought was, can I ride the horses? They said, no, you can't ride the horses. I said, well, okay, fine, I'll do it anyway. Now I can't wait to get out here. I don't want to go back in. And, it's these guys. It's these guys. I've grown to love them. They're amazing animals.
This is freedom out here, especially being with the horses. I just try to stay out of trouble. That's why I come here. So ain't nothing really I could do inside the jail. But when I'm out here, no problem. Everything's respect each other.
I believe that this area is like therapeutic for them. They come out here, and when they want to be out here or when a horse has affected them, it's noticeable because they want to come out here, they want to work with these horses, and the horses can change them in a way that you would never imagine, but they can really be the therapeutic end for them.
It might be an entry level, but it gives them the start of a new career, which gives them confidence and gives them self-esteem, and it builds back their person to go back and be productive in the community.
I've learned that I can be patient. That was what put me here, my inability to be patient and work hard. It's gonna take a lot of my skills here to make it out there. As far as I have to get out and get a job, that takes patience. I can't just give up and go back to what I was doing. So, I have to learn how to deal with uncooperative people. That's a key element too. Sometimes they can be very uncooperative and you have to be patient. You have to give them their time and their space and learn how to deal with them.
At the end of the day, all I know is treat them like family. You get treated back.
The TRF currently has a herd of more than 750 horses, living at 21 different farms across the country. 9 of those are Second Chances farms, like Walk Hill Correctional Facility in New York, with vocational training programs to help both thoroughbreds and inmates get back on their feet.
Well, it's an incredible story, and that's an incredible program. Horses having an even bigger impact away from the racetrack, helping those inmates at Walk Hill and other facilities across the country. And Quick Call, the horse for the course here at Saratoga, 2-time winner, back-to-back years of the Forgo, just missed winning a 3rd in 1990. He is part of that Walk Hill Correctional Facility program as well at the advanced age of 34 years old.
It's amazing that he is still 34, and the one thing you can always say about horses, and I think that's why the inmates get so much out of it, the horses don't judge you. They do not judge you. It's good stuff. That was a great piece.
I'm going to check in with Maggie Wolfendale, who brought us that piece. She now has a paddock report brought to you by Halendale Farm, now standing Curlin for $150,000.
Thanks, Greg. And visiting the Walk Hill Correctional Facility was one of my best memories of this meet so far, as we'll take a look at these horses who are making their way to the track. Maiden 25 New York breds, beginning with a second-time starter, dropping out of maiden special weights, is number 3, Tamzine, for Kieran McLaughlin. And this horse just fits a bit better with these types in here. And 2, he's a lot more sharp than he was first time out, so he knows what's going on, and I like that. And I think he's going to be one that's going to be a price that could make some noise. As number 5 is a first-time starter, Sudden Victory for Rudy Rodriguez, a half-brother, just super surprised, a very talented New York bred sprinter, and this guy shows up in a spot where he could be successful. He's a big, strong-looking type that does come in here fit, though. wearing front bandages. Coming by way of Gulfstream Park is number 12 on the outside, while Colonial Boy trying his hooves against New York bred for the first time in his career, putting on those blinkers for trainer Marcus Vitale. And just a 3/4 cup, pretty relaxed here in the paddock. Well conditioned though, is another one that shows that wearing those front bandages, as he is currently your favorite here, guys, as they are hitting the track.
Now he just passed us. He is very relaxed, Wild Colonial Boy, with that equipment change. We have the call to post coming up for our nightcap. 5-2 on Wild Colonial Boy, coming in from Gulfstream Park and making that equipment change. We are going to see Abominable Snowman to kick things off. Kendrick Carmouche will be aboard for Michael Dilger.
Yeah, 15-1, and you know, Michael Dilger pretty sneaky with his first-time starter, so I would not dismiss the son of Frost Giant.
Steve Asmussen trains the 2 Dab, 4-year-old son of Into Mischief, with Ricardo Santana Jr.
Very rare to see a horse claimed by Steve Asmussen, then go 0 for 5, but this guy has shown lick but no stick.
Tamzine, the 3, will drop down in class for Kieran McLaughlin. Eric Consell aboard.
Yeah, 41-1 in his debut, and now the quick drop. So, what are you getting, 10-1? I guess you're getting your price.
Latin Love Bug, the 4, John Toscano Jr. trainee with Joel Rosario.
He's been rallying belatedly in his races. He's got 3 in the money performances. Certainly needs to improve.
First-time starter for Rudy Rodriguez. Here's the 5, Sudden Victory with Manny Franco.
Yeah, for Mr. Dub, who just won the last. I thought this horse would take some money. Maybe the board is telling you he might not be a runner.
American Ninja is the 6th runner for Patrick Reynolds with Rajiv Mirage.
Claimed out of the debut by Patrick. Tried him on the turf. He got tired. He should love coming back to the dirt. Very dangerous with the blinkers on.
Neutral Zone, the 7 here, also putting blinkers on for Mitchell Friedman with Junior Alvarado.
Yeah, tomorrow night will be the full slate of preseason football. You'll see a lot of neutral zone infractions. You won't see a neutral zone in the winner's circle here, though.
Junior Alvarado looking for a 3rd to close out the card. Giant Boo Boo, the 8, Jose Ortiz, Jeremiah Engelhardt off the claim.
Ran well in his debut, nowhere on the grass. Decent effort last time, gets claimed. He's one of the contenders.
Let the 9 a little sneaky in here. The final Crazy Dude, 2nd time out for Bruce Brown, drops in class.
Yeah, got a little speed, broke sharp. Mike Luzzy, you know, actually grabbed a hold of him. I think he sends today, and he could be the speed here.
Teresa's Boy. This is start number 12 for trainer Gary Contessa. Luis Saez rides.
Main track races have not been that bad. If you look and dig in a little bit, this horse is not without a chance.
Yeah, he's hit the board against better. And here's the 12, Wild Colonial Boy. Comes in from Gulfstream, blinkers on.
He's worked well, and on top of that, he's facing fellow New York breds for the first time. I had a chance to look at the Daily Racing Forum's Clocker report for the first time last night. It's actually very well done. Mike Welsh, Donald Harris, and David Grenning.
And here's the 11 at 63-1. Golden Sequence.
Well, this horse has run twice, has beaten 1 horse and didn't finish. Lost a rider last time, so 63-1 is about right.
When we're done here at Saratoga, this is our final race coming up this afternoon. Great racing action continues out on the West Coast at Del Mar. You can use your Naira Bets account to split 250,000 points without even hitting a ticket. Just bet a $10 base exacta in race 5 at Del Mar. To split those 250,000 points, head to NairaBets.com to place your bet and get down on the action. Our nightcap coming up here. Finale on this Wednesday at Saratoga. That horse right there, Wild Colonial Boy, Saratoga debut. He's the favorite.
Turning for home in front. Coast of New York on the outside. California Chrome is 3rd. Shared Belief laboring back there in 5th. 1 furlong to run. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome on the outside. The 3 of them come to the wire. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome. Here's the finish. Bayern holds on.
His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
L'aurora di bianco vestita, già l'uscio dischiude al gran sol, di già con le rose sue dita, carezze le gioiale stuol.
Italian tenor, Angelo Mazzone Jr.
Sure that wasn't my voice?
You do have some nice pipes, I got to tell you, but that was next level right there. Part of Italian-American Day here at Saratoga Racetrack, and performing an Italian aria there.
You know the word. You know the words of that song. If you eat too much pizza and pasta, you might have looked like Franca.
By the way, what's on the menu for tonight?
Oh, pizza Nove for sure. Absolute.
Thought so.
Full
and
endorsement.
You believe it's the best pizza in Saratoga?
I've tried a few of them, and they're jogging home by many.
I'm with Frank here. They are jogging home like Arrowgate did in the Travers.
And the marinara sauce is excellent. The bread beforehand, be careful, because when those little focaccias arrive, you might get full and have to pack your pasta
Don't
to go.
fill up on the bread. That's a rookie mistake.
Yeah, it is.
Our nightcap coming up here, this 10th race. 6.5 furlongs here on the main track, and it is still Wild Colonial Boy, the 12, the favorite coming in from Gulfstream. With more on this race, let's go to Gabby Gaudet.
Thanks, Greg. Well, yes, of course, this race is very puzzling as the outside runner is at favoritism right now, the 12 Wild Colonial Boy. I'm not crazy about the company that he's been coming out of, so I'll go with the class dropper, the 3 Tamzine, to the inside for trainer Kieran McLaughlin. Kieran hasn't really started that many horses up until last week, really, and everything that he's been sending out just appears to be spotted well, and this is just what this horse kind of looks to me as. He's spotted well, and he's dropping in class. This looks like a better spot for him, but there are a couple of interesting horses that warmed up on the track. Abominable Snowman was one of them. The 8 Giant Boo Boo, too, looked really good in the warm-up here. But with more and a closer look on some of these horses on track, we'll check in with Maggie Wolfendale.
Thank you, Gabby. I want to take a look at a horse who, well, he's going from turf to dirt and dropping back into the race he was claimed out of by trainer Pat Reynolds, as he will apply a pair of blinkers, American Ninja, number 6. And I just thought he looked great from the overall standpoint. 3rd start of his career, back in a spot where he was somewhat competitive first time out, and he can certainly improve upon that. And these connections actually have teamed up to do some good work over the course of this year. So we'll also take a look at the 0 for 11 maiden in number 2 Dab. And you're like, why are you talking about this horse? He's gone from worse to even worse. But I thought it was interesting. There isn't that much apparent speed on paper, and he's got Ricardo Santana aboard, and maybe they get aggressive with this horse, because overall I couldn't fault him. Yes, there's probably an underlying issue that isn't apparent here, but he looks better and better each time I see him now that he's 3rd off the layoff. So they're heading back to the gate. There's a lot of ways you can go in here, but holding strong, Greg, as your favorite is Wild Colonial Boy.
Yes, he is. But, you know, as you take a look at Dab there, and he just left our screen, that 2 horse. You know, the first time he dropped in for a tag, it was last summer here at Saratoga, and he just missed by a neck at this level. He's run good on the track. He's never been off the board in 3 starts. Does that mean anything here?
I think what means something to you is that Steve Asmussen's on fire. It doesn't matter. He's seeing the baseball better than Bryce Harper is right now. I mean, but now this horse is over for 11. This is tough. I don't know about 9-1.
He's been well bet. That's the thing. If he comes in and slaps you across the face at 21.40, you start asking yourself questions on your way out the door.
That's true.
You know, that barn has done very little wrong, especially pairing up with Santana Jr., who's been their go-to rider as well. As we take a look at the favorite, 5-2, Wild Colonial Boy. Everyone's kind of knocking those races that he's coming out of, but he has run quicker than anybody in this field.
I get it, but I hate taking horses that are going to be in the 12 hole. As you see, there's a jock off the 11, and maybe that's why he's 95-1. I hate playing horses that are 15 lengths out of it, and you're 5-2, and you're going to have to circle 11 others.
He looks outstanding out there. He's working well. He's with New York breds, blinkers. And this Cross Sabres farm, particularly if you're watching down south in Florida, don't let them get you. They win at a lot of price horses, 8-1, 6-1, 4-1. This one's getting bet, I think rightfully so. Fits perfectly in this spot. He's live.
There's Sam Jimenez. He's going to hop back aboard Golden Sequence, the 11 here momentarily as soon as that son of Golden Missile settles down here a little bit. Starting gate crew doing their best to try and get him settled, and looks like he has.
Can I give you my bomb?
Do it.
Well, it's not really a bomb, but the 10 horses races at state bred 50s and 40s never been at this level or are not that bad here, and they're hidden by bad turf races. And I think the 10 here can win this race at 11-1.
I thought the 10 had a big shot.
Yeah.
Gary Contessa, he was starting to heat up. He had a nice day a couple days ago here at the meet. Nightcap ahead here on Saratoga Live. Wild Colonial Boy, the 12 horse from the extreme outside post, coming in from Gulfstream. The one to beat, putting the blinkers on. There he is. We're set. Let's go upstairs to Larry Colmus for the call.
Here's Wild Colonial Boy going in, and they're all in line. He's trying to straighten them out here. A couple of them restless in the gate. Meanwhile, Giant Boo Boo has gone to the 2-1 favoritism. And it looks like a rider is off of Teresa's Boy right now in the starting gate. Getting back aboard, though. They're off. Teresa's Boy broke well with the final Crazy Dude. Giant Boo Boo and Tamzine coming through on the inside to flash some early foot. Dab is there with Wild Colonial Boy. Then Abominable Snowman on the inside, followed by Sudden Victory. American Ninja is next. A Neutral Zone, Latin Love Bug on the inside. And Golden Sequence is last of them all. So up the backstretch they go. Giant Boo Boo grabs the front. The final Crazy Dude is second through a 22.4 opening quarter mile. A length farther back, and on the far outside, Wild Colonial Boy grabs third, Teresa's Boy fourth, Abominable Snowman fifth on the inside, 5 lengths from the front, then Dab, and then comes Sudden Victory 3 wide on the turn. American Ninja is next, going by Tamzine on the far turn, then back to Latin Love Bug, Neutral Zone, and at the back of the pack, it's Golden Sequence. It's Giant Boo Boo and Wild Colonial Boy, 46.33 the half, and they're into the stretch. Giant Boo Boo turning for home with a 2-length lead. Wild Colonial Boy still in the hunt, and it's a long way back to the others as they come to the final 16th. Giant Boo Boo, Wild Colonial Boy still trying hard and steadily getting even here. Wild Colonial Boy to the front. Giant Boo Boo back into second as Wild Colonial Boy and Arad Ortiz win going away. Giant Boo Boo second, Latin Love Bug got third, and Teresa's Boy was fourth in 118.81.
Wild Colonial Boy, start number 3. First start at Saratoga. Gets the maiden breaker for Marcus Vitale.
Well, the public had it dead right, didn't they? They put the blinkers on. He came out of a good race. He was closer involved, like you were talking, Frank, and he wore down the leader.
Fair and square race for both of them. They both fired big, and they were a mile the best of the rest. Giant Boo Boo did everything but win here. Wild Colonial Boy had to get a couple of nudges around the far turn, but Irad Ortiz, who ends up sweeping this late double, knew that he better stay after that front runner. It was a long, long way back to Latin Love Bug in third.
Yeah, the Ford, I think, 9-1 is your third place finisher here, Greg. So you're going to get 3-1 over 2-1, and you're right, Latin Love Bug, the 4, who actually got bet down with Rosario, was your clear-cut third. And Teresa's Boy was right around there, all staggering a little bit, but Frank's right. I mean, the Ortiz brothers, again, battling it out to the wire. And it seems like right now, Irad has just got Jose's number. A little bit of second-itis for Jose, although he's been winning some races of late. Looks like the 10 held on for fourth. Yeah.
And Ortiz brother has won each of the last 3 races. Jose won on JJ Streaming in the 8th, and Irad sweeping the late double here after that victory on World of Trouble. Wild Colonial Boy, the victory. Let's go to Gabby Gaudet.
Yeah, and technically stepping up in class a little bit here with the winning trainer, Marcus Vitale. What made you kind of hunt for this spot here up at the spa?
Well, I was encouraged by Ms. Vogel. She'd like to see something run here at Saratoga, so we had a couple of New York breds, and he ran well at Gulfstream last time. I figured we'd take a trip to Saratoga and see what happens. Evidently, it worked out well.
Looks like the blinkers on or just his transition up here. He's been firing bullets. Have you seen him kind of turn a corner since he got here?
Yeah, I did. He seemed to like the racetrack, and blinkers on really helped, and Irad did a great job today, and my whole team.
How exciting is it to get a victory up here at the spa?
We've always done well, and it's very, very exciting.
Well, good to see you back here, Marcus. Congratulations.
Okay, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right, Greg.
Pays off here for Marcus Vitale, Cross Sabres Farm, making the trip to the spa and getting the win here, and a maiden-breaking score for the son of the lumber guy. And Irad Ortiz Jr. meets leading rider, picks up another.
Yeah, blinkers went on. You talked about the lumber guy, hook and ladder on the bottom side. The key, getting into New York breds, I think a lot of people are looking at the open maiden 16s. That's not the bottom of the level at Gulfstream Park. So he just dominated this group. Not dominated. He went by Giant Boo Boo late, but those two dominated this group.
Well, it's in the holster. They came ready to fire, and they got what they were looking for.
Yep. Yeah, these two much the best. Long way back, as you can see. In that shot right there, no one else really making a bid. And once Wild Colonial Boy got by Giant Boo Boo, it was lights out here in this finale on this Wednesday afternoon at Saratoga. We'll have the prices for you coming up in just a moment. Off to the winner's circle. And Irad Ortiz Jr. continuing to have this sensational meet. 60 wins at Belmont Park Forum, leading into this meet here at Saratoga, trying to unseat his younger brother, who's the 2-time defending riding champ here, and he's off to a hot start.
Yeah, and here's the other part about this. We talk about it every day. I get it. $119 for the pick 4. I get it. We got a 20-to-1 shot, but it goes up to $3,100 in a small 5-horse field. If you would have all that first leg, you got some dividends.
And some people took a wicked beat on the Jason Service training in there. We do have a nice carryover in the pick 6, over $60,000 into tomorrow's card.
And nobody was even alive going into this last race as we take it to Naira Betts. Late pick 5 follow along started with a huge number. 'Tis Now Smile. Cape Angel, not easy to have as well, winning for Joe Sharp. But Wild Colonial Boy ruled a trouble. 2 favorites win on the sequence.
Yeah.
And you're rewarded $3,136. Saratoga Showdown final standings here, and we got a 2-way tie at the top. Rocking Cat Ranch and Turfer Joe collecting some points. And again, whenever you win, you're in the running for a prize package for next year's Belmont Stakes. You can get involved each and every day, and you're not risking any of your own money. Go to naira.com/showdown to play each and every day on our show.
I was rooting for Stumpy there as you look at the jockey standings, and this is surprising. Listen, you have a 7-win lead right now on this kind of meet. You're rolling. I'm sorry. It's like winning 5 or 6 lengths on the turf here at Saratoga against these kind of boys. He's riding.
He's qualified to do so. He's outstanding.
Luis Saez, we should mention, having a great meet as well.
True.
And there at second, he's been a bit of a surprise here, riding very well. Chad Brown, we expected him to be on top. Steve Asmussen's been lights out at this meet. Bill Mott and Joe Sharp have been having tremendous Saratogas.
Those names aren't going to surprise too many from the top to the bottom.
We expected Chad Brown to be at the top. He's just got so much depth, it's hard to beat him. Of course, he gave everyone else a break today.
Yeah, he did. He did. He gave
Didn't have much entered today.
Well, we didn't have that many turf horses carded.
Naira Betts app. This is where you can watch our show if you don't happen to be in front of a TV set. Go to that live TV video, click on that icon, and then bring up the show, and you can take Paul LaDuca, Frank Miramati, Maggie Wolfendale, Gabby Gaudet with you wherever you go.
Yeah, and it's the same tool that I use for actually watching the replays, too. You can click on back replays as well and try to find out some troubled trips. The website's really grown and gotten a lot better. And by the way, you can do almost all of this from your phone. You can actually do all of it from your phone.
Yeah, it's incredible, this technology. All right there for you. And that's where you can watch the show as well. Quick call. Going to World of Trouble in that turf debut this afternoon. Very intriguing runner, and we can't wait to see what his future beholds. Take a look at all the things there are to do around here, the racetrack. In addition to this tremendous racing, you can pick up some horse racing art on your way into the racetrack.
Well, that's what makes the festival. It is a festival, truly a festival. Frank, we've been coming here for years. You longer than I, but when you walk around, you just get that feeling of, I want to just have a beer, watch the races, and just go sightseeing almost.
You know what's cool about this place? This is the one track that I know of that you can hang out and not even watch the races outside, and it doesn't really take a big thing away from the experience. That's how much fun it is. It's a big social gathering. It's a lot of fun. It just, you could feel the history in the air when you walk around Saratoga. You go to the paddock, you can get to a TV and watch the race after that.
And where it's situated, Greg, it's the eclecticness. Vermont, Boston, Long Island, you get people from everywhere. It's really, really cool. You meet so many different people with a lot of different handicapping styles too as well.
That website you saw there, SaratogaVisit.com, that's where you can go and check out everything that's going on around town. And that's one of the great things too about this meet. I'm on obviously the premier race meet in the country, but also there is so much going on around town each and every night, it seems like, at this meet. The last couple of nights, Monday and Tuesday, it was the Fasig-Tipton-Saratoga sale where we had all those fireworks with the first American Pharaohs to see. But every night it's something new.
Well, we had the PDJF, the jockeys, they sang their hearts out.
They did.
We had the basketball game. We had a Hall of Famer in Bernard King. Listen, they try whatever they can, and they do a lot of different events. But Greg mentions a lot of different. The history around Saratoga when you walk downtown is something you should go see besides the racetrack, really.
No question. It's an entire experience from the moment you wake up until late at night, and you just never know who you're going to run into and have a lot of fun. And you'll find that this racing family is very close-knit. And regardless of what level and what job you have or what part of the industry you're involved in, we have this common love for the sport.
True.
Really seems to be no racetrack like it. There's so much history here, but the town really of Saratoga Springs like that as well. They don't make them like this anymore. It's maintained so much of its character from so long ago, and that's what makes this such a special place where not only horse racing, but the history of the sport is revered as well. We're going to be back on Thursday afternoon for Eastern Time. We will see you then with more racing action here from Saratoga. Of course, our feature race this afternoon, trying something new with the Sprinter World of Trouble. Put him on the turf, and it looks like he has gotten even better switching surfaces. Turf debut for the son of Cantharos for Jason Service, Michael Dubb, Madacat Stables, and Bethlehem Stables. He really took to the grass. Sensational performance, getting the job done for the third win of his career. We will see on Thursday afternoon back here at Saratoga. Take care, everyone.